No banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements, and build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit and little or no money. You don't need a license or experience, and I'll show you exactly how it's done. Text cash to 99799 and I'll send you my free training. I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate and open the door to a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehabs and can quickly replace your current income. Text cash to 99799 and let me show you how to take your life back and build cash flow and wealth from your home. That's cash to 99799. Again, text cash to 99799.
Transportation officials are expecting lots of travelers this summer.
The TSA says it has quadrupled the number of employees who can fill in at airports when the crowds start snaking out the door, and it will move screeners from less busy airports to busier ones. The agency is planning for as many passengers as it screened in 2019 and possibly more. It says it has screened about 90% as many people this month and last as it did in the same period in 2019. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
A couple of former First Ladies will get their due at the Obama Presidential Center. It's opening on the south side of Chicago in 2025. It'll feature a fruit and vegetable garden in a nod to Michelle Obama's healthy eating campaign, and it will be named for Eleanor Roosevelt. The gardens will have wide pathways between raised flower beds to make them wheelchair accessible. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Shop the Rustic Furniture Outlet at American Oak and More.
Handmade solid wood rustic furniture at factory direct prices.
Up to 70% off every day.
How can we sell so cheap?
Because we are a direct outlet for the factory.
We have over 1,500 items in stock available for immediate pickup or after delivery.
Plus, we have truckloads arriving weekly.
Bedroom suites, table and chairs, occasional tables, entertainment center, consoles, gun cabinets. If it's rustic, we got you covered.
The Rustic Furniture Outlet is off the highway next to American Oak and More. This is people from American Oak and More. This is your special invitation for our 28th anniversary sale going on now. For a limited time, everything at American Oak and More's inventory catalog and special orders is 50% off the top tag price. That's right, half off. Living room, dining room, bedroom, home office, and outdoor. Interest-free financing available. Hurry, sale ends soon. Mattress accessories and cozy excluded.
Like we've been saying for almost 30 years. You don't pay us fake money, don't sell us fake wood.
Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic is terrible. I sure is. I can't believe I just said but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Does it actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FREE for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's promo code FREE. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for a $5 bonus.
Matt Parsley with Under Car and Truck Sales. Are you looking to sell your car? Want to sell it on the spot? Well, we're buying cars on the spot with no trade-in required. Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs, all makes and models. Cash out today. Selling your car privately or online can be a hassle. Fielding phone calls from potential buyers, some serious, most not, plus a handful of swindlers, and a whole lot of online broker promises. We'll make the experience simple, safe, and easy. To stop by one of our 2 locations, relax, and one of our acquisition specialists will inspect the car and provide you with a free Carfax report, a $39.95 value. You'll get our budget best buy offer to compare. Budget Car and Truck Sales location, 61 Bendale Parkway, Montgomery, next to Fraser Church, 244-9777, or in Prattville, 508 McQueen Smith Road, across from Walmart. 358-0444, and we'll cover you there. Check us out online BuyBudgetOnline.com.
It could be information to change your life forever. Or the Something You Should Know podcast could just be something interesting. Monica Guzman is on a mission to depolarize America.
That animosity is called affective polarization. It's polarization based on how we feel about each other. We are actually living under more anxiety and fear than is probably justified. By the way, when we have less fear, we can solve more.
Join Mike Carruthers and guests for Something You Should Know. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
He's smart, witty, and fast on the draw. It's Mark Levin this afternoon at 5 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Your WSFA First Alert Weather Forecast on News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Finding a great hire can be a challenge. That's why there's Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
A little bit warmer today, temperatures in the upper 80s, but the humidity continues to stay low. It will feel good for being in the upper 80s, mainly sunny skies. The wind will be light. For tonight, we'll have a few more clouds around. That keeps temperatures up tonight. It won't be as cool or as refreshing. We'll stay in the 60s tonight with partly cloudy skies. We'll have a few clouds around Thursday, but still a good deal of sun. Upper 80s, mid-80s Friday with sun and clouds. That's your First Alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Your Wednesday hump day kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Clanton, Albany, Greenville. No problems on Highway 80 or 14 coming in from Selma, and 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy, still carrying light traffic. Good credit, slow credit, doesn't matter. Call the A-Team at MCS in Wetumpka for a cash out, refinance, or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000, NMLS 232876. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing with all the brands and options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery at Chico's Auto Pros for your tire needs.
Good morning, I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. Early discussions are happening now about the possible closure of 2 schools in Montgomery for the 2023-2024 school year. Montgomery public school leaders say it's costing the system more money to keep Dunbar Raymer School and Penlala Elementary School open than it would to close them. If these schools close, students would be rezoned. To try to get a handle on record inflation, the Federal Reserve announced the biggest interest rate hike in more than 2 decades. Experts say financing costs will rise and borrowing money will become more expensive. Higher interest rate payments for car loans, credit card bills, and home mortgages. A quick reminder that our severe weather event is happening later on today. It's from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at ASE Credit Union on East Chase Parkway in Montgomery. Join us there. You can meet our weather team. You can see Storm Tracker in person and so much more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
Your Montgomery Biscuits are ready to take on the 2022 season with the best fans in minor league baseball. Join us for a summer full of theme weekends, celebrations, and the best biscuits in town. For ticket information, go to biscuitsbaseball.com or call the box office at 323-BALL.
Shannon, how can you let the people in Montgomery know about what Daddy does? You mean tell people he's a foot doctor? Yeah, a podiatrist. There's gotta be a way to spread the word about the surgeries he does and stuff. You mean like bunions and hammer toes? Yeah, and treating heel pain, burning in the feet, and corns. Like that time that lady had fungus in her toenails and they started looking better? I just want people to know that my dad, Dr. Brian Keeley, can be seen without a referral and he accepts most insurances. You should probably give them the phone number, 265-7585. Yeah, 265-7585. I just said that. Well, let's say it again. 265-7585. Maybe we should tell them our offices are in Montgomery and Greenville. You just did. Like us on Facebook at Greenville Foot Care. Happy feet start here.
No representation is made as to the quality of podiatric services to be performed or as to the expertise of podiatrists performing such services.
5G is here, but the big carriers want you to sign a pricey long-term contract to get access. Well, not anymore, because Straight Talk Wireless has rolled out 5G coverage nationwide with deals like our Silver Unlimited plan for just $45 a month and no contract. And get a Samsung Galaxy A32 5G for $249, all on America's best networks. 5G coverage, 5G phones, less money. Straight Talk Wireless. No contract, no compromise. 5G capable device required. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may vary. See terms and conditions at straighttalk.com.
There are so many words to describe Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. The chicken, juicy, succulent, seared. The brioche roll, buttery and toasty.
Oh, Lordy, Miss Cody.
Crunchy, tangy. The secret aioli, creamy and rich. All those words. But when you have a bite, you might just be left speechless. Panera's new Chef's Chicken sandwiches. Enjoy a $1 delivery fee when you order on our app. Restrictions apply. For details, visit panerabread.com/delivery info.
Jeff Branca with Chappie's Deli. Mike, listen.
Hi, Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli. Jeff, what is that?
It's the Chappie's Deli Grill. Let's do a commercial about grilled onions.
Grilled onions? Oh, yeah. People will be knocking the doors down to come in for that.
It's psychology, Gramps. It's a subtle message that tells a story.
Jeff, we can't do a Chappie's Deli commercial only about grilled onions.
Mike, it tells everyone two things. Number one, we cook on real grills at Chappie's Deli. No better flavor.
You will find a grill master at each Chappie's. Big difference between a Chappie's Deli grilled Reuben versus a microwave or steamed.
And number two, where else can you get grilled onions on a sandwich?
Yep, that's what Chappie's Deli is all about. You want something special? Just ask. So come to Chappie's Deli, Perry Hill, Pepper Tree, Prattville, Baptist South Towers, and Auburn for some psychology.
No.
Oh, yeah, the onions.
No, Gramps, the grill. The grill.
My name is Lily Rose. I'm a country artist, and I'm back on air with Boot Barn.
You can make a hero, can take the fire. That's how your story goes. Say it's on the fire. Whatever helps you sleep at night. You can make me the bad guy, make 'em all believe it. That's how I feel it. I can be the villain.
Learn more about the movement at bootbarn.com/backonair.
Don't miss Sean Hannity.
Biden incoherently adheres
Live this afternoon at 2 p.m. on News Radio 1440.
And here we go.
Sometimes you need to reset. Refocus on your day. The moment where you take a deep breath and change the focus from the problem to the problem solver. This is Decisions with Kevin Elkins.
Tomorrow morning, if you wake up and the sun does not appear,
And good morning, Montgomery, Alabama. It is time to rise and shine once again, if you can. Good morning. The time on the clock says it is 6:16 in the morning on this day, this 11th day of May. Good morning to you. I'm Kevin Elkins, and this is News Radio 1440. It's time to rise and shine if you can this morning. Get up. It is another day, another one that the Lord has made. And you're on top of the ground rather than the ground being on top of you. What a great day it is to be alive. It is time for our daily bread. Our daily bread today is simply entitled, Always Worth Sharing. Our scripture insight today comes from 2 Corinthians 2, 12 through 17. But 2 Corinthians 2 and 14 says,
Thanks be to God who always uses us to spread the aroma of the knowledge of Him everywhere. Govern yourselves accordingly. Good morning. And again, it is the 11th day of May, 2022 AD. It is a day that has never been, and it is a day that shall never, ever come again. And once it's gone, you don't get a do-over. You don't get a redo. You don't get to summon it from the past. You don't get to come back and do all the things that you should have done this day that you didn't. But more importantly, you don't get a chance to come back and do the things that you should have done. So whatever it is that you do this day, make sure that if tomorrow should be, you'll be proud of what you have done on this day. There's no doubt in my mind, if you've lived a while, you have seen, you have heard many, many yesterdays. And if we are blessed and given the grace of God, but more importantly, a lot of mercy to go along with it, we may, I'm not sure, but we may see some tomorrows. But if tomorrow should never be, then it is this day. That is the first day of the rest of your life. Well, what are you going to do with it? Well, whatever you do, when you can, reach back and give somebody else a helping hand while you can, for as long as you can, until you can. Benjamin E. Mays said, whatever we do in life, we should do it so well that no man living, no man dead, and no man yet to be born can do it any better. I say if that is the standard by which you live life, you'll always be successful. Oh, you'll fail at some things. After all, we all do. But you'll never be a failure until you quit. We say give out if you must, rest if you can, but you never, ever, ever quit. Martin Luther King said, if you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. Or whatever you do, keep moving forward. Always worth sharing. That's our daily bread for this morning, the 11th day of May, 2022.
Welcome to today's encouragement from Our Daily Bread. My name is Sochil Dixon. Today, I'll be sharing a personal testimony in Always Worth Sharing. After I became a believer in Jesus, I shared the gospel with my mother. Instead of making a decision to trust Jesus as I expected, she stopped speaking to me for a year. Her bad experiences with people who claimed to follow Jesus made her distrust believers in Christ. I prayed for her and reached out to her weekly. The Holy Spirit comforted me and continued working on my heart as my mom gave me the silent treatment. When she finally answered my phone call, I committed to loving her and sharing God's truth with her whenever I had the opportunity. Months after our reconciliation, she said I'd changed. Almost a year later, she received Jesus as her Savior, and as a result, our relationship deepened. Believers in Jesus have access to the greatest gift given to humanity, Christ. In 2 Corinthians 2, the Apostle Paul says we're to spread the aroma of the knowledge of Him everywhere. He refers to those who share the gospel as the pleasing aroma of Christ to those who believe, but acknowledges we reek of death to those who reject Jesus. After we receive Christ as our Savior, we have the privilege of using our limited time on earth to spread His life-changing truth while loving others. Even during our hardest and loneliest moments, we can trust He'll provide what we need, no matter what the personal cost. God's good news is always worth sharing. Today's Our Daily Bread devotional scripture reading is from 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verses 12 to 17. Now, when I went to Troas to preach the gospel of Christ and found that the Lord had opened a door for me, I still had no peace of mind because I did not find my brother Titus there. So I said goodbye to them and went on to Macedonia. But thanks be to God, who always leads us as captives in Christ's triumphal procession and uses us to spread the aroma of the knowledge of Him everywhere. For we are to God the pleasing aroma of Christ among those who are being saved and those who are perishing. To the one, we are an aroma that brings death. To the other, an aroma that brings life. And who is equal to such a task? Unlike so many, we do not peddle the word of God for profit. On the contrary, in Christ, we speak before God with sincerity as those sent from God. Let's pray. Mighty and merciful Jesus, please make us more like you so that we can love others with our words and actions as we share your good news wherever you send us. You are always worth sharing. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. Today's encouragement was provided by Our Daily Bread Ministries.
Okay, you know what time it is? It's time for PT. All right, but the general's gonna call Caden first. Here we go.
All the way, gotta be
rough and tough, airborne, every day, hey, we run to the sun,
no sweat.
Oh yeah, I'm feeling it. On my knees,
Down in the mess hall on my knees.
we got nothing to eat but a pan of beans.
But a can of beans.
The bread was moldy and the meat was bad.
It was molded and the meat was well.
You know darn well that you can't eat that.
Hey, you know darn well that you can't eat that. Here we go.
All the way.
Gotta be
rough and tough. Airborne. All the way. Always wanted to be in the 82nd Airborne, knees in the breeze. Now that I'm here, I'm gonna do it right. Jump from an airplane while in flight.
All the way airborne, all the way driving on.
Oh yeah.
All the way.
Driving on. Trying to get out of that bunk, let go of them covers. In the freezing rain, well, I picked up my parachute and boarded the plane. Jump master said 1 minute to go. Green light rain in the early glow. All the way airborne, all the way driving on.
All the way airborne, all the way driving on. Here we go. All the way.
Gotta be rough and tough. Airborne. Now somebody get the sergeant major and the CO time to do the run, baby. It's the run. They're not retired yet. They need to get out and get some of this. Come on.
Around some more.
Tighten up.
Well, when your left
foot hops the ground, come on, get it. Oh, a clapping sound. Come on.
Hear that clapping sound.
Oh, yeah. All the way. Fired up. Feeling good. Gonna run. Hollywood. Looking good. All right. Dynamite. Everybody. Hold on. Everybody. Let me hear you. In the rear. Somebody get the bear. I know he's kind of slow. Somebody go back there and get him. Bring him back up. Come on. And tell the first son he's not retired yet. Here we go. Ain't it do?
Airborne.
Ain't
it mean? Rough and tough. Hey you. How you feel?
Feeling good. All right. Dynamite. Out of sight. Feeling good. Motivated. Dedicated. Wanna be airborne. Wanna be airborne. Hey, I gotta get motivated.
You are not allowed to sing Jody from a chair. That
That's
is
true.
unauthorized.
Okay,
soldier.
yes, sir. Section, I mean, running in the
You can
future.
stand in place and run in place.
Running in place.
But you do not sit down from a chair.
An insult.
From the sitting down position.
An insult to the profession.
Move out.
All right.
Draw fire.
I got away for a couple days. Oh, I got caught. Good morning, Maxwell and Gunner Air Force Base. This is an Air Force Base town after all. You got to pay homage. We're in their town. Good morning. And good morning to all the folks that go out to the Air War College out there from all over the world, coming to Montgomery, Alabama to figure out how to do it right. Good morning to you, Maxwell. It's time to rise and shine. The United States Navy. They go by the name of Jarhead and a few other names. But their motto is synonymous with, well, faithfulness. Their motto is Semper Fidelis. They cut it short, called it Semper Fi. Marines have a hard time with those 3-syllable words. But hey, just kidding, just kidding. But whether it's Semper Fidelis or Semper Fi, it means the same thing. Always. Not sometimes, but always faithful. Good morning, Jarheads. Hoorah! But last but certainly not least, a storied organization, the United States Army, home of the 82nd Airborne, the 2nd and the 75th Rangers, U.S. Army Infantry School, not too far from here at Fort Benning, Georgia, and all the other places around the world where our armed forces hail. We don't really have a motto. We just make one up every once in a while. But sooner or later, we're going to be like the Marines and everybody else. We're going to get one. All righty. You know, that's shame. We don't have a motto. I don't know why the Army, out of all the armed forces, the most storied, we don't have a motto. I mean, we can't figure out which one we want to say. I do like the new uniform. I do. I'm going to have to get me one of those for November so I can walk around with it on Veterans Day. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down to Fort Benning and get me one. How far is Fort Benning from here? I did drive down there one time ago, some long time ago. I think you got to go through. Opelika or Tuskegee or someplace. Anyway, I'm a ride down now. Me and Jelly Bean. Yeah, I called my car Tahoe for a long time, but Jelly Bean is more appropriate. So me and JB is going to go down there and go down to Ranger Joe's and see what's new down there. Okay, we're gonna go down there and get me one of them pink uniforms. I love the color of those uniforms. I do. Are we authorized to wear the uniform on Veterans Day? Anybody know? I guess we are. I don't know. I guess we're veterans, right? So we get one day a year to. Okay. So it may not fit as well. Although my uniform would actually fit pretty good still. So I'm good. But anyway, good morning to you. Hope this day finds you well. I'm feeling pretty good. Next hour, and the 7 o'clock hour, we are certainly going to have an interesting conversation. Yesterday, I had the opportunity to go out and, every once in a while, I'll go to a board meeting of some of the other boards in the city of Montgomery. And yesterday was my time to go to and I went out and checked out the Airport Authority board. And it was interesting. handled very well professionally. Miss Tammy Knight, who was the I guess she's the assistant chairman. I guess the real chairman wasn't there, but she handled it. She kept it rolling. But I do have some concerns about our airport board. Got some concerns about. But again, that's my job to go out and find things out. That's what I did. So I'll be visiting a board near you, and you can come visit our board too, because I don't have any authority down there. But if we ever have another meeting, you can visit our board too. I invite you to come and watch us do the people's work. Okay, I'm just saying. Although I don't really do nothing, I just sit there and kind of like listen and shut up. But however, I'm learning. So I now understand why it takes 2 terms to get anything done. Because the first term, or you're on anybody, whether you're elected or board or whatever the case may be, you got to learn things. Now here's what you learn. You learn there's a right way, a wrong way, and who's ever in charge way. Okay, so it takes you about 4 years to figure out that which way is the right way. Okay, now we got all these boards. We got all these what do you call the list of things that make it? I forgot what they call that thing. Anyway, there's a document that goes with every organization. I forgot exactly. See, my mind. I'll be 65 Monday, so the mind I kind of feel like Biden right about now. Okay, but there's a list of things that what is that? I just had the word yesterday. I know what it was. Man, okay, I need a break. That's right. I need a break. I need to come back and then talk a little bit about that. Maybe next time. No, we'll get to that next hour. But anyway, there's a list of things. What do you call that thing that govern you? What is the name of it? I just had it on the tip of my tongue. Okay, I'll have to take a break, and when I come back, I should have come up with that name. Okay, all right. It's the thing by which you do things in the organization that you happen to be in. I don't know why I cannot think of it right now. My mind is on the way out. I just had to think. I'm not 90 yet. I should remember that from a couple of minutes ago. Man. All right. Anyway, let me think of that name. And when we come back, we'll talk about anyway. But that's gonna be all in the next hour anyway. It's not even gonna be in this hour. But I just thought I would, I just thought I'd let you on some. I just thought I'd let you know. What's going on. It's going to be an interesting conversation next hour. I'm just telling you, it's going to be an interesting conversation about my visit to the airport authority. And interesting people, good folks out there, I think. And Miss Knight, who I never watched do her work, did pretty good out there, as a matter of fact. She held things, did. And you know what I liked about them? They didn't stay out there all day long regurgitating the same thing, okay? I'm just saying, I enjoyed my stay out there. So I'll be coming to a board near you soon. Oh yeah, we're gonna be coming to a board near you to see how you do your work. Okay, and I'm gonna have to visit that water board. Okay, because that water board be sticking it to us out there, and we don't have no say in it. Although the water company itself is a privately owned entity, but the folks on these boards supposed to represent the people. Yeah. Well, I'm going to represent the people at these board meetings. Oh, yeah, I'm going. Yeah. So, who knows? You may look around and sitting in the seats, a short little dark guy in the corner over there. Yeah, that'd be me. We'll be back.
Sponsored by Rocket Mortgage. When you buy a home with Rocket Mortgage, you'll have a team of experts to help you every step of the way.
I'm looking for
Surprises and unanswered questions. That's not how they work. You'll feel informed and confident at every turn. When you're ready to buy or refinance, Rocket can.
A little bit warmer today. Temperatures
Rules
in
of
the
order.
upper 80s,
No, that's
but
not
the
it. That's not
humidity
it. I remember
continues to
that's not
stay
it. That's
low.
not
It will feel good
That's
for
not the
being
word.
in the
It's
upper
the- it's the-
80s,
it's
mainly
the-
sunny skies.
it
The
is
wind will
the-
be light. For tonight, we'll have a few more clouds.
It is the
Temperatures
it is
tonight
the
won't be as cool or as refreshing.
it is the
Tonight with
governing
skies.
book
We'll have a few clouds around Thursday.
by which you govern by, and the rules that you abide by in the governance. I can't think of the word. I know the word. My mind just kind of messed up.
Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Right now, things are looking good. Your Wednesday home day kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into the Tri-County area from Clanton all the way to Greenville. No problems on Highway 80 and 14 coming in from Selma and 231 south out of Wetumpka, north out of Troy. Still carrying light traffic. Good credit, slow credit, doesn't matter. Call the AT and MCS in Wetumpka for a cash out, refinance, or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000. NMLS 232876. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Talk tires with Montgomery's #1 tire store, Chico's Auto Pros. Chico's has you covered with Chico's Auto Pros price match guarantee and 0 down option.
Call of Duty has always been known as a toxic game, but one player let it get so toxic that it impacted his collegiate career. Cupan, a player from Miami University, got aggressive with his trash talking, which caused the room to erupt in shouting and profanities. Miami University later dropped the player for his trash talking, claiming that his actions breached the university's code of conduct. Sometimes players forget that a game is just a game.
The latest esports and gaming news. Find it online at checkpointxp.com.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell.
That's the word. That's the word. That's the word right there. No, not Robin's Rules of Order. Somebody sent me the word. I got the word. Okay, I got it. I'm good. Okay, I got it. I'll share that with you in a few minutes. I gotta go find me something to drink.
791-1313. That's 800-791-1313.
Keeping your property looking its best means having the right equipment to get the job done. Whether your to-do list requires mowing the lawn or maintaining a camp or farm, our team at SunSouth will help you find the equipment to meet your needs. And owning a John Deere is more affordable than ever at SunSouth with 0% financing on most models, including the 1 Series, 3 Series, and even the 5 Series. So why wait another season to do more? Come see us at SunSouth. Equipment for those that do.
Some restrictions apply. See for details. Although expires till 31st, 2022.
Hey, Montgomery, Prattville, and surrounding areas. Matt Parsley here with Budget Car and Truck Sales. We're all feeling the pinch. With everything going up, I'm sorry to say at Budget, we're going to have to take away the nickel down sale, and we're raising it to a dime. Yep, that's right. 1 dime, 1 thin dime. It's dime time. Yep, it's dime time. If you've got a dime and some time, shop over 300 compact, mid-size, full-size luxury cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs. And if you're looking to sell your car, we're buying. And we'll buy it on the spot with no trade-in required. Owe too much on your trade? We'll pay up to $4,256 over Kelly Blue Book for most trades. And if credit problems in the past prevent you from driving a light new car today, we understand. My credit approval process will help you rebuild your credit and get you financed when others can't. We are Budget Car and Truck Sales. So if you've got a little time and a dime, visit us in Montgomery at 61 Mendel Parkway or 508 McQueen Smith Road in Prattville. Check us out online at buybudgetonline.com.
Sometimes you need things done around your house or land that your lawnmower or weed eater just can't handle. That's when you call Prattville Farm Center. They bring their own crew and equipment and clear whatever you need. They say no job is too small. I've been going to Prattville Farm Center for years, and I like dealing with hometown folks. They get the job done right and get it done quickly. If you have land that needs clearing, call Randy at Prattville Farm Center on South Memorial Drive in Prattville. Call 365-5400.
The City of Montgomery Department of Cultural Affairs is calling all creative minds. The department exists to engage, enlighten, and elevate a diverse
inclusive cultural arts community. They're committed to strengthening and showcasing organizational and individual cultural endeavors in our hometown. To advance this cause, they're seeking individual artists,
You know what
artists,
Melissa was saying?
advocacy
No,
groups,
a
schools,
sinking
and avid patrons of the
spell.
arts.
Yeah,
Visit
that
you,
spell.
visit Montgomery.
But I'm having a sinking spell. I'm feeling down.
Montgomery
feeling
Creative
tired.
Community.
You want to come sing?
Finding great candidates can be like, well, trying to
That's
find
certainly
a needle in
something.
the haystack. Sure,
Yeah.
you can post your
I might have
job to
used it.
some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you; it finds them for you. Its powerful technology
Man, I got my
identifies
word.
people with the right experience.
I got my word. I got my
To
word.
apply to your job, you get qualified candidates.
How y'all doing?
fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job in ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Telling it like it really is. It's the Dan Bongino Show, weekdays from 11 to 2 on News Radio
Hola.
1440.
Hola, that's right. And hey, good morning, Greg. Hey, listen, it ain't too late to sign up for the thing, is it? I'm not going to mention it on the air, but I just need to know because I've been meaning to do this every day, and I've yet to do it. But I already told Z about it, and so I may have to end up paying, I guess. But what can I tell you? Anyway, good morning to you. All right, I found out the word. Somebody sent me the word, and the word is bylaws. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. The bylaw. All boards I guess, have bylaws, but we don't know what they are most times because most people on the boards don't know what they are. But we'll get to that next hour because I there's an interesting situation with the there's some interesting situation with the airport authority that I've never heard of before, and it's about the employees. And I'm not questioning anybody because I don't know. But since I got access to the smartest people in town, I'm sure somebody can explain this situation to me so I can understand it in a way that is, that's comprehensive that I can explain to you. Okay, but we'll get to that next hour. So I don't want you guys to think I'm just kind of like kind of putting you out there. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, good morning to you. You know what time it is? It is time for the lessons of life. The things that you learn strictly by living. Can't learn it any other way whatsoever. They're just some things you learn just by because you got to be alive. In the military, we call it time in grade, time in service. We call it TIL, time in life. You got to put some life. You got to do some things. Like I'm not gonna like preachers. Preachers who are like, man, he been preaching since he was 5 years old. I don't believe it. Okay, he don't know nothing yet. I ain't gonna preach at 5 years old. I mean, he may be smart, all that good stuff, but he is not a preacher at 5. I know there's just some churches that put a brother up there and say he's preaching since he was 9 years old. Okay, well you keep him. I'm good. I'm going. I don't need gray hair to teach me nothing, but I do need somebody who who didn't just get done breastfeeding. Okay, I'm just saying, I need somebody to, hook a brother up. Okay, now where's my thing at here? Where's my lesson of life thing? Oh, there we go, right there. Okay, there we go. Anyway, how you guys doing out there anyway? I really had fun at that board thing yesterday. I didn't have fun, but I learned some things. It was really interesting. Well, I'm on a board. Yeah, I don't know when we're going to have another meeting or anything like that, but I'm on a board, and I'm just trying. Hopefully we'll have another meeting, the Parks and Recreation Board, and hopefully we will have another meeting real soon and get together and work out some things for the people. And one of the things I have suggested that we actually put internet in our parks, so people can go there and just sit down on a beautiful autumn afternoon or a lazy summer day and sit there and stay at the park and just have a great time. Understand nature and all that thing. Okay, I'm just saying that's one of my suggestions. Now I don't know if it's gonna go any place because I'm not I'm not the chairman or anything like that. But I like to play one periodically. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, here's my lessons of life today. First of all, the word of the day. The word of the day means to examine or to consider with a direct attention and in detail. Okay. In other words, we're going to look at this really, really. We're going to cogitate, look at it, cogitate, look at it, cogitate one more time, and look at it. We are going to examine this situation to the utmost, to the highest hill. The word is called peruse. Okay, peruse, P-E-R-U-S-E. Peruse means to examine, to consider. Okay, with attention and in detail. So if your boss has this, on your, if your boss has this on your evaluation, and it says, we are going to have to peruse Elkin's work, which means they're going to examine it exhaustively. They're going to put so much in it. They're going to check every crevice. So pretty much your time there is limited, okay? Unless you come up with some miraculous change in the way you do business. If you see that word on your paper, you are probably done. But it's not dead yet. The fact that you're still there means that they may see something in you, but they're going to go up every orifice of your body to make sure you do everything right. Dot the I's, cross the T's, use paper, whatever. They're going to check you out. So you at this point, if you see that word on your evaluation at this point, you cannot afford to be lackluster, okay? And show up for late for work and things that way. You can't afford to do that. You need to be there on time, all the time, okay, in time. That's what I'm saying. So that's a word that you don't really want to see on your evaluation. You don't really want to see that. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, especially if I'm evaluating you. Now, okay, so that is the word peruse, P-E-R-U-S-E. Peruse, P-E-R-U-S-E. Peruse means to examine, to consider with attention and in great detail. All right, then. Now, this lesson of life here is one that I got from Dr. Rick Rigsby because it makes so much sense until I have to give attribution, and my brain is not smart enough to have come up with this. So normally I may take a little liberty, but this is just too good. You guys, the minute I tell you this, you guys would know that I didn't come up with this. Okay, I mean it would be so obvious that I didn't come up with it. So I have to give attribution. Okay, and the attribution of this goes to Dr. Rick Rigsby, who also is the guy that wrote did the speech, Advice of a Third Grade Dropout, his father. Okay, but the man said, ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. You may know some folks that they need to hear that. Okay, one more time. Ego, E-G-O, is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Okay, you guys might want to, you probably know some people that represent that. Okay, you might want to do it. Let me say that one more time. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Now, if I have to explain that to you, you're probably listening to the wrong show. And so I think the people who heard that got that, they understand. Now that's Dr. Rick Rigsby, because that is too good. I had to give credit. I had to give credit. Whoever came up with this, he did this. That is great. I had to give credit for that. I'm just telling you, I had to do it. Okay, one more time. Ego is the anesthesia that deadens the pain of stupidity. Let me put it in simple terms. Ego will make you go all the way down the mountains head first because you think you know everything. Okay? Ego will lead you into places that you ought not go because you don't want to listen to anybody else. Now, I will admit to you that there have been times when, you know, that kind of defined me. Yeah, it did a couple of times in life. So I can't say that I was immune to the anesthesia because I've had some of that in my life. Anyway, good morning to you. It is the 11th day of May. It is the 131st day of the year. It was on this day, 1996, the Atlanta-bound ValueJet DC-9 caught fire shortly after takeoff from Miami and crashed in the Florida Everglades, killing 110 people on board. You know, I don't know why planes can't go down in a nice area. I mean, why it's always got to be by alligators on the backside of a high-ass mountain, you know, so can't nobody get to you. I don't get that. I mean, if we're going to go down, let's go down. And here's what we got to do. I think all planes ought to be fitted with water ski things, okay? So that way, if nothing else, you can land in the river, okay? And hopefully you won't sink. I'm just saying. That just makes sense to me. 1502, Christopher Columbus left Cadiz, Spain on his fourth and final trip to the Western Hemisphere. In 1647, Peter, how you pronounce this guy? Stuyvesant, that's a German name, whatever it's from, arrives in New Amsterdam to become governor of the New Netherlands. In 1858, Minnesota became the 32nd state of the Union. And I'm still trying to figure out, since we didn't have GPS, we did not have, we didn't have, ways to map borders and all that stuff. How did they know when they were in Minnesota? Really? And how do we know we're actually in Florida when we could be still in Georgia? So who drew the lines? That's all I want to know. Who drew the borders of the United States? That's all I want to know. 1935, the Rural Electrification Administration was created as one of the President Franklin Delano Roosevelt's New Deal program. I think that's a pretty good program right there. We got electricity just about everywhere in America, except in some parts of Alabama. 1943, during World War II, U.S. forces landed on the Aleutian Islands of Attu, which was held by the Japanese. The Americans took the island in 19 days. 1953, a tornado devastated Waco, Texas, claiming 114 lives. And then came ATF. Never mind, we won't even go there. I got the FBI and ATF upstairs, so I don't want to tick them off. 1960, Israeli agents captured Nazi war criminal Adolf Eichmann in Buenos Aires, Argentina. 1973, the espionage trial of Daniel Ellsberg and Anthony Russo, in the Pentagon Papers case came to an end as Judge William H. Byrne dismissed all charges citing government misconduct. I got a lot of that going on still. 1987, doctors in Baltimore transplanted the heart and lungs of an auto accident victim to a patient who gave up his own heart to another recipient. Clinton House, the nation's first living heart donor, died 14 months later. In 1998, India set off 3 underground atomic blasts, the first nuclear test in 24 years. A French mint produced a first coins of Europe's single currency, the euro, in 1998. In 2006, lawmakers demanded answers after the USA Today reported that the National Security Agency was secretly collecting records of millions of ordinary Americans' phone calls. President George W. Bush sought to assure Americans that civil liberties were being fiercely protected. And anybody believes that, you believe that I got a bunch of money in the bank. Of course, because, I mean, that's not true. Of course they are, because the other day, right, I'm not lying. So I'm riding down the road the other day, and I said, boy, I sure like me some Popeye chicken, even though I was tired of chicken. Next thing I know, on my phone, a coupon for Popeye's chicken pop up. So I'm looking all in the car and see if anybody's in there with me or anything like that. I mean, who heard that? I mean, God's powerful, but I don't think he'd send me a coupon. I'm just saying, so yeah, they got our stuff. They know what's going on. They do. In 2010, Lawmakers demanded answers after the USA Today. Oh yeah, I just got done with that. In 2010, conservative leader David Cameron, at the age of 43, became Britain's youngest prime minister in almost 200 years after the Gordon Brown stepped down and ended 13 years of the labor movement. I just want to let you know that. Okay, and about 13 years ago, 12 and a half years ago, President Barack Obama fired the top U.S. general in Afghanistan, replacing General David McKeeran, wherever hell his name is, with Lieutenant General Stanley McChrystal. Okay, I never did figure that one out, but that's okay. 5 U.S. troops were shot and killed in a mental health ward in Baghdad's base. The shooter, Sergeant John Russell, was later sentenced to life in prison without parole. Good. I mean, when your own folks start shooting at you, you know you got some trouble on your side. Okay, so good. Some gun should have been court-martialed and shot. I mean, it's hard enough. It's bad enough. You got to wait the enemy shooting at you. Now, when your own people start shooting at you, I mean, that's kind of tough. That is kind of tough. But anyway, those are some of the things that happened on this day in America and the rest of the world. And there's a holiday Monday. You guys don't know? Okay, I'll tell you the holiday Friday, what the holiday is on Monday. I'm just telling you. Okay, so I gotta go. Time to leave. Time to go and have a great time. So you guys hang out, hang loose. We'll be back with our interesting conversation for the next hour. Little Marvin Gaye for you.
12 news update on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, I'm Jackie Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. Early discussions are happening now about the possible closure of 2 schools in Montgomery for the 2023-2024 public school leaders say it's costing the system more money to keep Dunbar Raymer School and Kavala Elementary School open than it would to close them.
I gotta get that thing done.
Okay. Trying to get a handle on record inflation, the Federal Reserve announced the biggest interest rate hike in more than 2 decades. Experts say financing costs will rise and borrowing money will become more expensive. Higher interest rate payments for car loans, credit card bills, and home mortgages. A quick reminder that our severe weather event is happening later on today. It's from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at ASC Credit Union on East Chase Parkway in Montgomery. Join us there. You can meet our weather in person and so much more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
WLWI-AM is News Radio 1440. Also heard on 95.1 HD3 FM.
This is the CBS World News Roundup, sponsored by Rocket Mortgage.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. How expensive has it gotten to feed your family? And have prices come down some? We'll find out when the Labor Department releases April's Consumer Price Index in half an hour. CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
It's likely to show that the pace of inflation may have cooled a little bit, but that is not enough to really satisfy consumers. It will still mean that prices are so much higher than they were a year ago, and the inflation rate is outpacing annual wage gain.
President Biden heads to Illinois today to talk to farmers about the impact of inflation and supply chain shortages. Krista Swanson, who grows soybeans and corn, says skyrocketing costs have put her business in danger.
Farming is a passion and it's a way of life, but it also is a livelihood.
A week after a leaked Supreme Court draft opinion suggesting justices are ready to overturn the decision that legalized abortion rights, Democrats on Capitol Hill are holding a vote.
Democrats don't have the votes to pass the bill, which would codify Roe versus Wade into federal law. But Chuck Schumer, the Senate Majority Leader, says he wants senators on the record.
There'll be no more distracting, no more obfuscating.
Texas Republican John Cornyn says the bill doesn't provide enough protection to medical providers who object to abortions.
Any healthcare provider who had a deeply held religious or moral objection to abortion would be required by federal law to provide them anyway.
Scott McFarland, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Lawmakers in the House have voted overwhelmingly to approve another $40 billion in aid to Ukraine. Connecticut Democrat Rosa DeLauro.
This legislation invests strongly to support Ukraine's dire efforts to defend itself by keeping weapons and ammunition flowing without interruptions.
Senate is expected to approve as well. In the West Bank,
It's up!
Panic after Al Jazeera says one of its veteran journalists was shot in the head and killed by Israeli forces during an army raid. Israel blames Palestinian gunfire. Almost 10 years after their son was detained in Syria, Austin Tice's parents say they are certain their son is still alive. Mark Tice spoke to CBS's Major Garrett on the Takeout podcast.
We're 100% confident that there's a job here, and the job is to get Austin safely home so he can continue his life.
Full interview airs Friday. President Biden promised to meet with the Tices when he spoke at the White House Correspondents Association dinner a week ago Saturday. It revolutionized the way we listen to music.
You're introducing a product today, and that product is called iPod.
21 years after the late Steve Jobs made the introduction, Apple is discontinuing the pocket-sized player. This is CBS News.
The World News Roundup is presented by Rocket Mortgage. Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can.
Have you ever thought you'd like to buy and sell houses but didn't know how or where to get the money? My name is Ron LeGrand, and over the past 40 years, I've bought over 3,000 houses without using my money or credit and taught thousands to do the same. Today, even in a virtual environment, we buy nice houses in nice neighborhoods using no banks, realtors, contractors, or other costly entanglements. And build huge cash flow and wealth without the hassle of tenants, all without credit.
John and Barry, don't talk about that in court. I mean, when football season ain't in, it ain't worth nothing.
Where you want me to sit?
I promise I'll change the way you think about real estate. I thought a new lifestyle that doesn't involve risk or rehab.
No,
Quickly replace your current income.
Because we got to have a conversation about a couple things. Now, you know, Mayor, I'm gonna have to be a little tough on you today. I just want to let you know. I mean, I know I've got a small brain, but I'm gonna have to be a little tough on you today. Not tough, but there's just some things.
Mandatory minimum.
There's just some things ain't got nothing to do with you.
Pushing for
But there are things that go around that have been going on in this city
sexual abuse at the federal
for
prison
years.
in Dublin,
And
California. Former warden
when the
was
oppressed
arrested,
become the
accused of
oppressor,
abusing female inmates,
what's the
forcing
difference?
them to pose
Who
nude for
anybody,
pictures.
the oppressed have they had the power to be the oppressor?
Charges, 9 more
I don't see where there's no power to be no, for the oppressor to be no oppressor nowhere.
And there's where you and I have this distinct disagreement because
Peter King, CBS News.
there are
Actor stages an act of defiance at Starbucks.
They got limited power. Yeah, limited, very. What the state constitution has.
Yeah, but we ain't even going with that constitution.
Plant-based milk.
They go by when they want to go by.
Reed explained the 82-year-old Oscar nominee wore a T-shirt that read "Free the
A
Animals."
little bit.
And if you ain't part of that group, again, you ain't. I ain't mad at him, but you
got a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, okay.
But we still have to understand whose world it is. So even that is negligible. We don't control the financial system. We don't control the court system. We don't control the
system. And that's true. But again, now we didn't come up with it.
Huh?
Black folks didn't come up with all that.
Oh, I agree.
So
I agree.
I mean, I wouldn't build a house. And then turn around and give somebody else the key.
Well, then don't say everything about your country is fair and equal and perfect to the rest of the world. Then,
right. But we
don't hold yourself out to be holier than thou.
But we are better than 99.9% of all the places in the world.
I don't know about 99.9.
Well,
We're better than most. We're better than most.
I never got on an airplane and went to another country and didn't come back and kiss the ground of America.
Well, that's because you're a serviceman. So that's how you are indoctrinated. You had to jump out of a damn plane. Shit, they had to tell you something. You know, jump out of a damn plane. I ain't never jumped out of no plane. So my viewpoint is a little bit more practical.
Oh, hey, do you want to go to a premiere of Top Gun in a private showing?
When?
It'll be the 23rd, 24th. I mean, somebody just asked me if you wanted to take it. I think they got about 81 tickets to give them before everybody else.
Look, they should give them. Don't do it because then somebody be saying I got something.
Yeah.
So I appreciate the thought.
Okay. They give New ones.
Well, yeah, you take mine and give them to some kids.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, we do that. Okay.
But it looks like they didn't handle it for about 2 years.
Yeah,
so
they
it's
have.
gonna be good.
But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing
Looking forward to this.
Yeah.
I thought you didn't want me on. I said, "Man, last time."
Wait. You be down the hall, you on the phone with the boy, and every time you come on down, I get a visit. I get a visit from them.
Major delay.
Hey, how you doing?
Nice
Good
to meet
seeing
you.
Likewise.
Well, welcome to the show.
Hey, I appreciate that.
Hope to have you back.
Look forward to it. I just told him he hadn't had me here in a while, so I must have done something wrong.
Yes, why?
I think he got a parking ticket downstairs and got mad at me because I wouldn't fix it.
No. You'll get a ticket before I do.
That's how you got to work that.
You can't come down here for 20 years,
That's fair.
Not,
That's fair.
Celebration and the best biscuits in town. For ticket information, go to biscuitsbaseball.com. Call the box office at 323-BALL.
This is Mike Costanza with Chappie's Deli.
And Jeff Franco with Chappie.
I don't know how. I put all this stuff in my electronic calendar and hell, I still didn't look at it. I need a producer.
You gotta tell the help a brother out, man.
Yeah.
So the man said they gotta quit. Gotta quit treating wrong. We're gonna bring in Ben Crump. We're gonna file us and also have a press conference.
We ain't gonna do that.
We're gonna bring in Crump. We're gonna have a cumulus.
A
Crump
little
versus cumulus.
Wait. A little money is better than no money. It don't take an economics degree or an MBA to figure that one out.
No. Oh man.
Albert Dental. What? Now wait a minute, Jeff. You mean
We got some good things to talk about around the city.
We do. We do. So I ain't always hard on you. I know. Listen, a little brain can't mess with no big brain. So I just be having fun. I said, well, I know he gonna take me serious.
Oh, you gotta take it in stride, man.
Yeah, that's right. You do.
Okay, you can't take the pinches. You can't handle the
play the
praise.
game. That's right. You can't play the game.
That's fine. Oh, wow, so boys, I answered today. I had some water.
Oh, you Wilson, let me get something.
You got that?
Weather forecast.
Yeah.
News Radio 1440.
Sponsored by Indeed.com. Need to hire? Need Indeed. Their hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates in one place. Sponsor a job and immediately get a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/play.
A little bit warmer today. Temperatures in the upper 80s, but the humidity continues to stay low. It will feel good for being in the upper 80s, mainly sunny skies. The wind will be light. For tonight, we'll have a few more clouds around. That keeps temperatures up tonight. It won't be as cool or as refreshing. We'll stay in the 60s tonight with partly cloudy skies. We'll have a few clouds around Thursday, but still a good deal of sun. Upper 80s, mid 80s Friday with sun and clouds. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. So far, so good. Your 7 o'clock hour kicks off with no major problems or accidents. Interstate systems moving smoothly into and through the Tri-County area. You keep listening. We'll keep you posted with the latest and the most accurate traffic conditions on the radio. Get your best deal at Reinhardt Prattville. Your choice.
Hey man, y'all trying to cut me short on my time, man. This is a setup.
No. What I'm doing, I'm making sure you have some uninterrupted time.
It's good.
That's clean, yes.
All right.
That's mine.
All right.
I brought that from the house, so we know that's good.
All right.
So when you come to my house, you'll say, kitchen clean.
All right.
We good.
Who will win this Republican Senate race?
I don't care.
Huh?
I don't care.
Why you don't care?
Because it's the same crap, different day. They don't do any more than the Democrats do. Democrats don't do more than they do. Redistricting is for politicians, not the people. Never been for the people. It's for the politicians. So they don't really give a crap about us. So I need to do Democrats. Yeah, they sure do. We got inflation at 40-year high.
That ain't good. They can't get around that.
We got a guy in the White House don't know what day it is. But hey, I appreciate you representing us the other day on the tarmac. And I'm kind of pissed off at the Republicans for not showing up. You gotta like the guy. You don't have to like the guy, but you know what? He is the president of the United States. Like I said, Trump. You gotta like him, but he's the president. And when Air Force One touchdown in anybody's town, that is a privilege.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And we
somebody said, "Well, you're done if Trump was out 6 years."
Exactly. You ain't gotta like him, but it's just honor.
It's only part of the United States of America. I said, I think that's what we're supposed to do. And I said, main thing as leaders, we're supposed to set the example.
Yeah.
If you use them, bite the tongue.
But I'm always, I am astonished at that word.
Man, that thing is huge.
I mean,
I've been to Asia nonstop. I've been in the Middle East nonstop. I thought I'd been on some big planes. I ain't never seen a plane that big. I have never seen something that big.
Although the Russians got the biggest passenger plane there was. I forgot exactly what it's called. They got
Republicans trust to fight for our values.
You're on Facebook Live, but you don't mind. You don't think anyway. You know.
Rick is a successful business leader who knows how to create jobs.
At least you got a face for the camera, so that's good.
Helping to build
I'll keep it while I can.
So your mom's doing well? How's your dad?
Dad's doing well, man. We had a great Mother's Day. She's having some
Growing up here in Alabama,
eyesight
issues.
Me too.
Me too.
I'll be 65 on
I'll
Monday.
protect life, defend our Second Amendment, fight for stronger borders, and make sure that America is
That was birth certificate.
That's good.
for my kids and for yours.
There's a whole lot of folks ain't see 65.
In the state. Together, we'll create more opportunity for Alabama
Oh,
and
my.
make America safe and secure. I'm Katie Britt, and I approve this message, and I would be honored to earn your vote.
Y'all cutting my time short.
No, I'm not. See, this way we don't have to go to a break right in the middle of it. It's still the same amount.
Okay.
But now you can say everything 9 o'clock if you want to.
Well, I know, but I can't do that.
Okay.
I got it by 8.
Okay, well that's good. That's all I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna give people a chance to ask you questions and stuff like that. And
I know it was the smart thing to do. I tell all my family and friends about Masterworks, and now I'm telling you.
Before deciding to invest, carefully review the important disclosures at masterworks.io/disclaimer.
Is your child getting the personalized attention they need to excel in math? Mathnasium has a solution for students of all skill levels. We assess each child's strengths and weaknesses, creating a customized learning plan. The Mathnasium method gives them the critical thinking skills they need to thrive, with the option to
all right, let's see. You about 45, right?
or come to one of our 1,000 neighborhood learning
How old are you now?
Mathnasium.
How old are you now?
We're changing lives through
You almost
Learn
grown.
more at mathnasium.com.
I figure out men don't really get grown totally until they're 50. Once you hit 50, you say, "Whoa."
It may be too late by then.
You say, "Whoa, what did I do the rest of them years?" Brother, them kids, them boys of yours, you spit them out. So you ever got to go to town for you got that shit. Cute little kids.
I appreciate that. I just had to get on one right 30 seconds before I got in that car about making sure his grades are where they need to be. Like, you got to close out strong, Doc.
Yeah. Wait a minute. If they, I mean, school is out there this month, so if they ain't got it by now, they ain't gonna get it.
Well, he got time to pull. He got time to pull a couple of them up.
Okay.
He's got a couple times. That's what I told him. I said, it ain't over yet.
Well, I tell you something. My son, this was his first year going to public school, and it's probably the last year, unless this new superintendent comes in with order and lack of chaos in these environments. Because you shouldn't have to go to a magnet school to get a decent education. The only difference between magnet schools and regular schools should be intellectual ability. But environment should be the same. I should not be able to walk into a school and know these are the dummies and walk over here and know these are the smart kids. I shouldn't know that by walking in the door. I just, but the problem is, y'all don't have any power to do anything. You can up the Okay, folks, I made a strategic error But however, this is going to work out just fine because it's honor the mayor is here in the studio with us this morning. And I'm telling you, it's just going to work because I did have an issue this morning that I wasn't going to bring it with him because I forgot he was coming. And he's actually here in the, let me give you this microphone right here.
Okay.
Mayor.
Yes, sir. All right. How's this?
Yeah, right there. Yeah. You just put it on the side. Anyway, good morning. Our numbers are 860-1440 if you guys want, but we're not gonna take any calls right now. But give me a couple minutes with the mayor, and then we'll take some of your calls for the mayor because I talk about him all the time. But he know it. They tell me.
That's right. They let me know.
Yeah, let me know. I had an opportunity yesterday to go to the Airport Authority board meeting. Great meeting. Good folks, I guess, that are there. But there were some issues that maybe you can explain to me. The employees of the Airport Authority go through the city board or go through the city personnel department to be hired.
That's correct.
But it is my understanding that except for that screening process, they are not city employees. That puts them in a catch-22 because why do I have to go through the city to get hired, but I don't get any city benefits? That's kind of, that don't sit right. And some of the employees out there have some grievances out there that they can't go to the people that hired them or do they to complain about it because they're not city employees, even though they had to go through the city employment process. Something's not right about that deal.
I think that is a great point to bring up, and I apologize for being hoarse this morning, but that is a great point to bring up because those employees have to really share those grievances either with the director or with the board members, and that's I don't really quite understand how the airport, or why I shouldn't say I know why the airport was set up the way it is, but when it went from a municipal airport to a regional airport, there were still some things that were not done under the city charter, in terms of how the airport is governed. So the city council appoints members of the airport board. The airport board then hires the executive director. The executive director then hires, those other folks on the staff. So it's a unique and really
confusing.
Yeah, confusing is a good word. Setup that the airport employees have to deal with, and that's one. That's not the only one. It's not the only authority like that in the city of Montgomery that doesn't quite, connect as well with the city. So take for instance, a lot of people think the water authority, is city.
It's a private company.
It's a private entity,
right?
The city council, not the mayor, makes appointments to water authority, but it's its own entity. So that's kind of what you're dealing with, and there probably should be some streamlining of how things are done as it relates to employees being hired and ultimately disciplined and maybe dismissed if there's calls for that.
Well, I guess my problem is that you're going to tell me I have to go through this organization to get the job, but once I get the job, any complaints, any concerns I have, I can't come back to the people that talk to me about the job and complain about it or resolve issues that I may have. And I know a couple of issues out there on the airport authority right now with some of the folks who work there, and some of them are legitimate, but you can't have the hen, have the fox guarding the hen house and expect to get any justice.
Yeah, well, and that's a part of the city county personnel board,
which are 3 people,
right? And the city county personnel department does the screening for airport employees, except for the upper management. So that's something for us to look into. I don't mind taking a look at what personnel recommends and the personnel department, as well as what our legal department recommends on something like that.
Okay, but I'm moving on to another issue. But if an employee has an issue out there, and so I talked to a couple yesterday, they got some real legitimate concerns out there, but there's really they can't come to the people that hired them. They can't. So
I think they can express that to members of the board.
Right.
I think they can express that to members of the airport authority. And I would hope they could express that to the executive director and their direct reports. Who they report directly to. I would hope they could do that. If not, that's a challenge. That's an issue.
Well, I'm going to give you one example that we're going to move on. There's a young man out there who's been working out there for 19 years. He works out there on like a particular shift, and his mother is sick. His child has lupus, so he's taking on a second job. Okay. Well, the new guy comes in and says, 19 years. New guy comes and said, well, we want to change your shift, but he's having his mother, his sick child, and so he got a job, and so all of a sudden now after 19 years you got to come out there and remove me. So because obviously nobody's getting rich in the city. You, me, and nobody else is getting rich in the city. So the guy's taking another job, and they don't seem to really give a crap about his mom and his dad. And leadership is about caring about the people that work for you. And there's no place for these folks to go who have this particular issue, because the only place they can go is the people who are telling them, sorry about that. I
think there's more support for, again, back to the members of the authority from the chairman on down to express what issue an employee may have if there's a grievance. And I think certainly somebody who put in 19 years of work, you want to be understanding of them, but also understand this, when new leadership comes in town, they have a charge too. And whether it's the police chief down at Montgomery Police Department, or whether it's a new superintendent of Montgomery Public Schools, like you and I were just talking about, or it's the airport, there are things that the public expects them to do. And the public is not asking them to do those things that make everybody happy. The public is saying we need better results. That's why we brought you in. So we also have to understand that from a leadership position too. And sometimes when you've been somewhere a while, there is change, and people have to make decisions. Can I deal with what has come about, or do I need to? Is this the time to find another pathway for me? And those are things that I don't think are unique to the airport. I think those are things unique to life and progress and growth.
But just to be clear, you have nothing to do with the airport authority whatsoever. You're not in the chain of command.
No.
There's nothing you can do about it. You can't pick up the phone, make a call, say, hey,
No.
Okay.
Now, I guess I can always pick up the phone and make a call. Now, the question is, how much good does it do? There's something to be said, I think, for that. But I typically, put that on the council members. They make those appointments for now. But if that changes and the mayor makes some appointments with the council approval, as we had in some legislation last session, then that'll be different. But right now, the council makes those appointments, and then they, I think, pretty much trust their board appointees to govern accordingly to the progress of that particular authority, whether it be Parks and Recreation Authority that you're a Parks and Recreation Board that you're on, or whether it be the airport board.
And thank you for giving us a director, a permanent one.
Well, listen, we had to.
We ain't had a meeting in a minute, but I'm still on it. I think.
Well, good. Now, I don't know who the chair of the board is, so you have to tell me that. Now you on the board,
Renee.
Okay.
Yeah, you're Renee.
Y'all may need to talk to the parks, and there's some changes coming to the Parks and Recreation Department too.
Well, that's good. Oh, one more thing that you did that absolutely irked me. There was a couple months ago, you came up with this park deal over there on near Shady Drive or wherever it's at over there. And not one member of the board of the Parks and Recreation was invited, or
really?
We didn't know nothing really. we all we know, we looking in the newspaper, and there's the mayor talking about he's gonna come up with another park. And so we were you dissed us.
You weren't invited. You just gonna check your mail.
No, we wouldn't.
Did the invitation come imitating the bill, or you just decided you were gonna open?
No, that wasn't what it was. But I'm gonna cut you some slack on that one.
Well, I don't send out the invitations now.
Okay.
But that one was an easy one. That should have been sent to
Yeah, it should have been
all the council members, the board members, as well as supporters.
Let's talk about in your administration.
Yeah.
We got a lot of we got 64 pages of boards for the city of Montgomery. Water board, park recreation board, just all kind of board, architect, all kind of board. What do you perceive the role of boards are? Because if all we're going to do is show up and laugh and have some tea, then that's a waste of everybody's time.
I agree with that.
Do you want us to be part of that board and make a difference in this city? Okay.
Or else why have
it? Thank you very much. We think a lot. Two big brains here thinking about the same. I know you don't know about two. Yeah, I got you. But so that's what I wanted to know, because there's no sense if we don't have any influence on these things, then why be there?
Yeah, so the boards are to really be an advisory board, and also to offer feedback to the city that we otherwise, might not get from people who are involved in parks and recreation about things that we can do to improve. And I believe, or let me just say again, I mean, there's a vast interest from this administration to invest in parks and recreation because the challenge that we have there. And these are not just regarding, sports and athletics. It's about community. It's about making sure there are places for people to come and get health and wellness classes, to get financial literacy classes, for young people to maybe come for a video game tournament, for young people to come and learn STEAM skills as well, but also for us to have community meetings. And we've got to make sure that we're putting the money behind that. And there was a time when the city did it, and at some point the city pulled out of supporting that. MPS pulled out of supporting some of those positions. And that's something that we plan to go back to the table with new leadership to really get them to understand, because that has a ripple effect into what we see in crime statistics, truancy, and other areas throughout this community, as well as our workforce development. We've got to have some central places where people can come, meet and greet, celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and bridal, baby showers, and everything else. But we also have to come where people who are not a member of this organization, that organization, can learn some skills and get some information that's going to help better them without having to come downtown. Most people, don't want to come to City Hall. I understand that. So we have to take the information to them throughout this community.
Okay, let's get to one of the biggest issues that's going on in Montgomery right now, and you have tried to address it, so I'm not going to say you haven't. But the Office of Violence Prevention, I think, is a waste of money.
I don't.
Okay, and of course you don't, because you came up with it. It's a good idea.
As a matter of fact, I hope that the city council will approve its expansion.
But the problem is that it seems to me that crime has gotten worse this year.
No, the data is just
the data.
opposite.
The data.
Now the data, that's what y'all go at. I think that's what y'all.
I'm going by the shootings and the folks get shot every day and things of that, which has got nothing to do with you. I understand that, but $250,000 could have gave us 6 more policemen to go on the road.
Yeah, and Birmingham has twice the number of policemen. They still got double the murders we got.
Well, they're bigger.
No, they're not. They're the same size. I said the city of Birmingham. I didn't say Jefferson County. I didn't say the metropolitan statistical area.
But doesn't that go to the fact that what I'm saying is pretty much true? They got, if they got all this and they still having issues, what do you think the issue of crime is in the city of Montgomery? Why do you think this is?
Well, let's go back. So let's go back. Crime is not up. Crime is down 17%, and it's down across year over year. And it's down across the board.
Unless you got robbed, unless you got shot. Yeah, I hear what you're saying.
Well, listen, you're talking to somebody who's been robbed before, so you don't.
We got that. We got that in common too.
You want to preach to the choir on that.
Okay.
So at gunpoint, so you preaching to the choir on that. So, but statistically, over the city, it's down 17%. So let's be clear in terms of what the numbers are. That's what people say. Well, it's up, it's up, it's up. Well, perception is real because everything you see coming to your phone, you didn't see 10 years ago coming to your phone. So you didn't know what the hell was happening. All right. You didn't know what was happening. Half people didn't read the Montgomery Advertiser, watch WSFA. Now it comes to your phone. You get it one way or another, whether you subscribe to that or not. You can localize your news based on any search engine. And when you don't want to, your search engine knows where you are and it localizes it for you. So all that being said, crime is down certainly there are challenges that still remain for the shootings and the homicides that we have. But we're doing much better than many peer cities as it relates to our clearance rate, and that is basically the amount of cases that are solved, and we're at an 82% clip. That's unheard of. That's way ahead of the national average, which is around 60. There are cities in this state that are in the 20s and the 40s, major cities in this state that are in that. So we get a lot of cooperation from the community, and we have a lot of good work that's being done by MPD. So what happens is, you can't put more cars on the street, put more people behind cars without drivers in, and think you're not going to have more car accidents. All right. Mm-hmm. So when we have that, it's no different than guns. So when we have a proliferation of guns and people who respond emotionally in the moment that way because they think the other person has one, then we have created an atmosphere around guns and street justice, period. And we've got to acknowledge that 3 of the shootings that we had over this weekend were domestic. These are people who knew one another. Over 70% of the shootings that we've had were known acquaintances. So when we think about those things, I don't know how you police, culture, mindset, and society. And then you throw in the volatility of, the access to guns, that we have. What we try to do with the Office of Violence Prevention is to provide a lifeline. But again, the Office of Violence Prevention has been staffed less than 6 months. So I don't expect them to be able to wave a magic wand and change things overnight. This has taken course in places like Newark, New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey, Oakland, and Milwaukee, years to get those folks who have been in the streets to come back in their neighborhoods as part of the Office of Violence Prevention or the Office of Safer Neighborhoods, as some of them are called in other cities, to give you a lifeline out of the track that they may be on, and to show them there's a better way than handling something through, as I said, street justice and handling something in the moment. And these are coming from, people who have been the heads of gangs. These are people who have been the head of drug organizations in these cities. These are people who have served hard time and have come back to these same streets and neighborhoods that they grew up to say, you don't want to go down this path, you don't want to do this. In our case, we're working at 1/3 of the staff that we'd like to have. So as we build this out and this becomes more of a institution of being able to show young men and young women, troubled men and young women, how to get help mentally, how to get help with substance abuse, how to get help professionally, so they understand there are opportunities for them outside of a life of crime and illegal activity. It's going to take some time in order for us to get there.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. You and I, there's one issue that you and I certainly can't seem to agree on. Mm-hmm. The state of Alabama says it is illegal to sit there and go in the streets and beg for money. The state does. Mm-hmm. That's a law in the state. You are resistant to really take a hard line. Now, I understand the new program they got coming up here pretty soon. They're trying to get, but you're resistant to take a hard line against all this panhandle. I mean, it's gotten to the point now that people come here strictly just to panhandle.
I don't know that I'm resistant to it. I'm following the law based on the Southern Poverty Lawsuit settlement that was filed.
But they don't supersede the state of Alabama's law.
Well, I have to see that law that says that we can do more than what we're doing. But here's the second thing, what I'm not going to do. Now, I will say this. I'm not going to ask, our men and women in blue to police people who are on corners rather than solving hard criminal cases that we're trying to solve. You don't get an 82% clearance rate on murders by having people out just with their hands in their pockets talking to somebody at the street corner. So what we're doing is we're working with our homeless task force and some of the homeless
but they're homeless by choice.
What's that?
They're homeless not everybody, but most of them are.
That's unfair. You got
talk to them.
You got veterans who are homeless.
Which I don't understand that one.
Well, you got veterans who are homeless for a number of reasons, which we don't have the time to get into. Right. That's a subject in and of itself.
Yeah.
But the second thing, you got women and children who are homeless because they're in a situation domestically that has gone awry. You've got adult men who are homeless because of other situations that they can't get permanent housing. So when you have that, and I don't care if you're Austin, Texas, I don't care if you're Nashville, in a city in this country is not dealing with a decent sized city is not dealing with a homeless problem. Period. Not one. And I talked to enough mayors, black, white, Democrat, Republican, from the far West Coast to the far Northeast to understand where the problem is and what they're doing to solve it. What we're not going to do is send police out to forcibly take people off corners. But what we want to do is work with those organizations to try to get people to help. And we do plan to, in this next budget, form a crisis intervention team, a team of unarmed civil patrol folks who can go out and help these people get off the corners and get where they need to be. So it's a matter of, do I want them arrested? No. But do we want them out of a place where they can be at East Chase or Eastern Boulevard or Fairview Avenue trying to hustle dollars? No, we don't want that either.
Okay, well, you're kind of resistant to it, but that's okay.
I may be resistant to the idea of how it gets done, and I think that in this community we have a primitive mindset about a hell of a lot of things about how we do stuff, because we don't benchmark, we don't look at best practices, and we go on what we have done 10 and 20 years ago, which is irrelevant as of this minute. Why? Because by each minute the world is changing. So for people who are still doing things 10 years ago, 20 years ago, the way we did them, that impedes our progress.
And if you don't mind me saying this, I understand the 21st century philosophy that you're trying to employ, but the problem is our criminals and our crooks have the first century philosophy. Get it the best way I can. So
not everybody who's homeless though is a criminal. So
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying. But I am saying that the rumors around the police department is that the mayor wants us to be really nice, and the mayor doesn't really want us to get out there and effectively do policing, because he's got this 21st century mentality, and we ain't figured out what it is yet. But the criminals, working.
I'll let Chief Albert come and explain 21st century police. He explains it. He teaches me, so he explains it.
And it hadn't stopped much of anything.
No, I just told you crime was down year over year, 17%.
Okay, let me take a call for you. Good morning, on air with the mayor.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
I want to ask him this. Good morning, Mayor. You're right about their need to keep their homes, but we only have one shelter that we know of that is unleashed. Is it any way possible that the city of Garden County, they can put a place of space for the homeless? So the youth come to West East Side, you see how these people on Atlanta Highway, East Chase, stand on the corner, up there by all the vehicles, up the office, Taylor Road, is there any way at night, they be walking up and down the highway with God at night, 12 o'clock, because of the opportunity what's going on in the city? A place for them to stop for a minute and get a rest. There's all on the sidewalk, all of the stores up there, and people having to ask them to leave their business and trash everywhere. Is it any way for you to set up a center for every part of town, north, east, south, and west? It can pull those over here, east side of Silver Street too. And if you go to Ann Street, go down, when you go come out the city, make them left hand and look them at the bridge, 2 bridges right there. I let the big intersection. You see these people get places to live and see how they live. It's safe.
I agree with you, and it's not just in one part of the city, it's around the entire city. We hear from our city council, and our city council hears it from citizens around this community about the challenge. And so we just had a homeless task force meeting the day before yesterday at the downtown library with many providers to get their ideas of what we can do differently. I will also tell you this, I think once it's finally approved, which hopefully will be very soon, there will be a significant amount of money from the American Rescue Plan that will be dedicated to the homeless initiatives that we have in this city. And the city council and the Montgomery County Commission, we've been working together to try to bring about additional resources. And some of that will probably include some sort of housing to go along with those organizations that are already working on. There's more than Salvation Army. There are a number of organizations, too many for me to name, that are working on this and that do great work in the community. We have to make sure that we're supporting them and we're providing some resources to them, as well as putting forth some ourselves to address this issue. But it's not just a Montgomery issue. It's a city issue, and it's one that has a lot of root causes that we have to make sure we try to address as well. So we're not just focusing, Kevin, on the end result, but how do we get here? How do you have students that are at great schools like Valley Cross Academy, that are at MPS, who are homeless, who don't have a place to go in the evening? What's going on in that family structure that allows that to happen? And what can we do within our power as a government, or in our power and our will as a community, to help assist that? And I think you'll continue to see more of that, and you'll hear more of those plans coming up.
Let's talk about a couple of good things you've done since you've been in office. I think you've done a few good things since you've been in office. I'm always focusing on the negative, but you seem to be able to have captured the interest of some of our Fortune 500 companies. We got FedEx coming. We got, I believe we got Amazon coming. We need people to work in these places. The only chink I think sometimes in your philosophy is the professional victimization that people seem to want to throw up every time, because they have not prepared to do what needs to be done. Now they become your problem, my problem, and Montgomery's problem. We need to get these people out of this victimization attitude and say, hey, we got opportunities for you. All you have to do is prepare yourself.
Well, listen, I think that there are people who have challenges and struggles that we have to be real about. All right.
But don't we all? Haven't we all had them?
So some have more than others. And I remind my sons of that. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'll tell my sons in particular at 12 and 14, some of the challenges I just shared with you and your audience about kids that are right here in MPS that don't live but a couple of blocks from us, that have some real challenges. Food at home, no adult in the house. Those are some things that we have to recognize have a impact on how a young child may be and how that child then grows up. Doesn't mean they can't overcome it. We've got a lot of great success stories throughout this community as well. However, I think what we can do is we can meet people where they are as a community, and we can be a community that is compassionate and try to help people get on the right track. So I just toured Impact, which is the career tech program that MPS has. We had a great tour with the principal out there. I think it's Todd Phillips. I hope I got that right. With Men of Conscience group. And I came back and I had a conversation with the chair of the school board about how we can support career tech in MPS to get those young men and women to understand that, again, they don't have to go down one track. They can be successful in many tracks. They shared with us a young lady who graduated who's going to make $60,000 as a welder. Young lady, not a young man, as a welder. So between that and programs we're working on with the 2-year college system like Trenum and Alabama Power, with the line workers program. You go to that line workers program, you're going to be making 6 figures in a relatively short amount of time, more than the mayor of Montgomery makes. And I shared that with those who are interested. So I think there are opportunities for us to close the workforce development gap or the reskilling gap among adults. We have to make sure that we are bringing those classes and that information to them where they are, so that we can fill the jobs at Amazon, the Inland Port, FedEx, Apple, and others, and they have the type of talent that makes them want to come back here and expand in Montgomery and Central Alabama.
We'll come back with our last section with the mayor. 860-1440 is the number. You got a question, or you can text me a question, and I'll try to get it to him. 241-9998, and we'll be back.
Yeah, my folks say you got that invitation. You just thought it was a bill. They say you got that invitation.
Yeah, I hear you.
You just didn't want to open that letter.
And I'm sitting there looking. I'm sitting here looking at the team meeting.
I see, you got to open that mail, doctor.
Okay. Well, I won't. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe I did.
Take me off your junk mail. Take the city of Montgomery off your junk mail, because you think you got a speeding camera, you got a red light camera that caught you going through a red light, and you trying to avoid paying that down at municipal court.
Although I'm going to tell you, you have matured gracefully in that office.
Oh, I appreciate that.
You have matured gracefully.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Because when you first got it, you get pissed off.
Oh, look, you had said that. I can still get that now.
Okay,
You doing a good job screening the callers for now.
Yeah, I'm just saying. You haven't doing great. I wasn't.
We got a lot of good things to share.
Yeah. If I wasn't so old, I'd give you a run for your money. I'm getting too old for it now.
Well, look, we gotta get y'all act on the Parks and Rec board. Y'all just can come down there and have lunch.
I know.
And
but
talk
when you
about the
say
good old days.
when you say advisory, advisory means that it seems that our suggestions don't have to be taken seriously. They have to be taken. Okay, if I want it, I want it. If I don't, I mean, I like to have a little bit more say because I'm talking to people every day about parks, and Mr. Carr was I've talked to him on the phone a couple times. I've never met him, but I at that advice. So the minute you put that advisory thing up there, then that pretty much neuters us.
Well, I disagree with that.
Okay.
I think it has some sway, and I'm gonna tell you how you do it. You take it to the Parks and Recreation Committee on the council, and then you get on the agenda. If you've spoken and things haven't moved in a way with Card or myself, and then you let us know, and then we come down and let's talk about it with the council.
Okay.
We'll get one of them.
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, and there's a way for us to do it. We can do that in the work session and say, hey, why aren't y'all cutting the fields, or why are we improving this community center in this part of town?
And some of our schools, they say the light's been out forever. Andre Howard would tell me that some of the schools they ain't had lights, they can't play at night, they can't come in and you can't fix everything. But it seemed like to me, the years I got here.
Andre wants us to have a mini Auburn University at every field too. Now, so we can't. We don't have no slide the money like that. Last time I was here.
I'm good. I don't need a kiss. We get it. And that taste in my mouth sometimes get me.
Look, I say,
that get to me periodically.
Man, y'all heard me on this inflation. I gotta get over man.
Yeah. Listen, we got inflation because the guy up in the White House don't have no sense.
Come on now.
They don't. I mean, he just don't. He is not mentally. His mental acuity right now is not where the president of the United States used to be.
Y'all gonna say that? Y'all deal with 4 years of a narcissist and a madman.
Well, I was making money. I was doing all right. Okay, so we need him back.
What?
Well, I wouldn't vote for him again. And I wouldn't vote for Biden either. It's time for new meat. All these old men. It's just time for new.
That's funny. That is a theme now.
This old man thing. I mean, he really old. I mean, I'll be old come Monday. But he really, when you're 80 years old, you need to go home and get fishing or something. Talk to the grandkids.
Yeah. Well,
if you can find them.
Well, look, y'all don't say about these old senators we got up there that's 85.
Oh, brother,
and
Shelby's 87.
Wasn't Strom Thurmond 99 when he? Yeah. Okay, Strom Thurmond was 99. As a U.S. senator, y'all wouldn't say that about those senators.
Well, when we're young, we don't pay them no attention.
Well, I agree.
But when you get older, you start paying attention to the same old lies everybody keep telling you, and nothing really changes.
Listen. I won't Biden run again. Biden gonna win. We're gonna win. I can tell you right now. 2022. He got one issue, and that's this inflation.
No. You ain't seen him the other day shaking hands when nobody there?
That was my second time in 2 months talking to him.
They gave him his medication.
They gotta give me some of mine too.
They gave him the medication.
I gotta have some medication too. He ain't the only one. All the rest of y'all on blood pressure medication, and that's just what y'all gonna tell us, y'all. I gonna talk about other medication.
I'm on the blood pressure medication. Right. That's a genetic thing. All right. Black folks get high blood pressure or something. Pork chops.
Yeah, that's right.
Chicken.
Is it genetic or is it by choice? Because what you eat and what you don't do.
It's true. It's hard to give up the pork chop.
Oh, look, who you telling? I agree.
You just quit.
You just quit. You remember the mayor, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, good to see you again.
I'm done. I'm doing
yes, sir. Good to see you. I didn't want to pull this thing out and get it be attached to you.
Keep him straight.
Listen, I do the best I can. He's cut me short, though. He told me an hour. He's only give me 20 minutes. Then he's gonna beat me up for the next hour after I leave. I know what you do,
And I'm gonna set up the
the town hall in the conference room tonight.
Okay.
If you want to do it in there, but then you have a link to the one later you can do it in.
Face-to-face online sessions.
I'm not gonna leave them up in,
1,000
you have a
learning
link
centers.
to do one for the
Mathnasium.
on-air feed.
We're changing lives.
You're supposed to be in two.
Learn more.
Okay, well, I was going to, so we're not going to do it all down there?
On the other one, she didn't want a ton of people in other rooms. If you don't have a computer with a laptop, or with a camera on it, then I can, oh, you do? Okay, then log into.
Where's the link at?
I emailed it to you yesterday.
Oh, okay.
Let me know if you need it.
I mean, I got 9 minutes, man. Your hour is not a genuine hour. You like one of these,
Well,
you like one of these musicians.
This ain't public radio. Somebody got to pay for it.
All right.
Okay, we're back. I got time to take one question for the mayor.
Next time I come, I'm gonna take a day. I'm gonna take a morning off, and I can come and have a real
Okay,
hour.
yeah, we can have a real hour. Yeah, sure. Okay, let's go to the phones. Good morning, on the air with the mayor.
Good morning.
Morning.
Oh, hey. What's bad? You all right? So, look, thank you. Give us some clarity on that issue Kevin brought up.
Mr. Hatcher with the legislation. I hate to say it, but you guys are absolutely correct. And you're approaching your mindset about things. But about the city council, it will be a conflict with me giving up my power to, however. That being said,
Now, they don't give us their power. They still got to approve now. And I've shared that. They still approve.
and long and short of it, you were right.
Thank you.
And I'm saying you were right because of the fact I'm experiencing it myself, looking into it. We have a problem when we have boards that are already established and set up from previous administrations that had it. But when you ask the governing authority, well, what's the enabling legislation? And enabling legislation falls under something that happened back in 1971, 1972 with the Article 7, Section 175, amended with 317, 23, 328. However, the city council is governed by Act 618 and in section 3.07, item E, to give the council members the authority to appoint board members and the authority to replace them. When you came into office, like all the previous mayors before you, there were cabinet members already set in place, which is not too dissimilar, if not the same, as an appointment like a board member, not an elected official, correct?
That's correct.
And you have the authority to remove those when you get into office. And the context is, new city council member comes into office, that person does not have that authority because, in my mind, they have not challenged it properly because the law clearly states that they have, in Act 618, that power to do so. But the impression that many have gotten, and I've asked the legal department or asked for proof, and I can't get it, to show where that city council person cannot replace someone. If we cannot or if they cannot, then the only way this can happen is with the 2023 election. Right now, you're looking at a majority 6-3, supermajority 6-3 on the board, and many other boards are probably the same way, if not 7-2 or whatever, in favor of, let's put it this way, that's not favorable. And when somebody like the employees come before the board, then the vote is typically along the same lines or that way. So with the airport board, with the employees said that they did not feel comfortable going to the board because of that fact.
Okay.
They did not feel comfortable going before the executive director and or, whoever their supervisors were, especially if they had the issue with those individuals. So who do they come to?
I see.
So by process of elimination, they chose me. And in doing so, I gave them my word I would fight with them, but I'm not going to fight by myself. So Mr. Elkins came out yesterday. I've spoken with Mr. Mitchell, who was supposed to come out yesterday, but unfortunately couldn't make it. The thing is, the employees feel like they have no support. And when they have no support, the employee morale is down. And not to, just put the board information out there, but we're supposed to report back to the city council person. But if the city council person does not have any authority, influence, or power, because the conflict is, this is not a government entity, but it's quasi in the sense of they have to use the city county personnel. In doing so, That's all about the hiring process, of course, publicizing the job and screening and what have you. But internally, it's ran by the airport board. Like you said from the beginning, they have the right to change policy and what have you. The issue was there was never a handbook. They're putting together a handbook, and they utilize the city county personnel handbook, which is 83 pages for the city and 94 more pages of the city with the city investigative unit. That's not in place in many of these boards. It's not in place with the airport board. There's no standard operating procedure. There's no bylaws for the board.
Wow.
So people have been operating off the willy-nilly, and that has been an issue. I understand this, Mr. Mayor, to close out. You don't send a hungry man to go get your food for lunch. You don't send a broke man to make a cash deposit to the bank. What happens with city boards, we put influential people and powerful people on the board, and these are brilliant people. But these people also control acquisition and procurement.
Wow.
So it's similar. So you have to have a mindset of the person on the board, like you said, or Mr. Harrison said in the proposal for the bill. People who know what to do and how to do things. If that's not in place, you will always get what you got, and that's called conservatism. Not talking about it from a political party, but to conserve means to keep things the same. So no matter what the public population demographic changes are, if you're not in charge of these boards, if you're not in charge of the economics for getting a fair and just percentage of it, it means absolutely nothing. So it doesn't fall on you, Mr. Mayor. It falls on we, the people in the public. Wouldn't we vote in 2023? You got to vote the city council people in that you think are going to represent you, but you got to look at the peripheral, you got to look at the little nuances, say, wait a minute, ain't nothing changing. Well, sometimes the mayor's office or the city council don't have that authority or power if it's not clear. So I'm asking you, if you have your legal department to look at it, to where what's the removal process legally? Because at the airport board, they don't know.
Yeah.
And apparently, the city council has not been forthcoming with their challenges.
Okay, I'm finna cut you off because my time is up. We didn't go to hard break. We'll talk again. Okay. Anyway, Mayor, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Listen, I'll be back to reclaim my time.
Okay, gotcha.
Good morning, I'm Jazz Ward with WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday.
And I already enough
Discussions are
time.
happening now about the possible closure of 2 schools in
We'll get back on sooner. I got somebody here.
Montgomery public school leaders say it's costing the system more money to keep Dunbar Raymer School and Pitlala Elementary School open than it would to close them. If these schools close, students would be rezoned. To try to get a handle on record inflation, the Federal Reserve announced the biggest interest rate hike in more than 2 decades. Experts say financing costs will rise and borrowing money will become more expensive. Higher interest rate payments for car loans, credit card bills, and home mortgages. A quick reminder that our severe weather event is happening later on today. It's from 4 to 6:30 p.m. at ASE Credit Union on East Chase Parkway in Montgomery. Join us there. You can meet our weather team. You can see Storm Tracker in person and so much more. I'm Jasmine Williams, and these are your morning headlines.
News Radio 1440 is WLWI AM and 95.1 HD3 FM.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. A small relief for consumers. Price increases slowed down a little bit in April, rising 8.3% compared to a year ago. The month before, they were up 8.5%. Prices for food, shelter, airline fares, and new cars, all among the largest contributors. Farmer John Boyd is a soybean and cattle farmer in Virginia.
We weren't able to pay for seeds, so the struggle is real, and the struggle is going to be real for the American people in the coming months as it relates to food.
Gas prices hit a new record today. AAA says the average price of a gallon of regular is $4.40. Senate Democrats hope to put Republicans on record when they hold a vote today to codify abortion rights into law. New York's Kirsten Gillibrand tells our affiliate, WCBS.
Roe v. Wade's been law of the land for 50 years, and the American people can see exactly where their senators stand with this vote.
Republicans are expected to derail Democrats with a filibuster. Ukrainian officials claim Russian forces are suffering setbacks in the city of Kharkiv as they make gains elsewhere. Correspondent Charlie D'Agata is in the east.
The Russian offensive in Donbass has been relentless, flattening small towns in the march toward the strategic cities of Kramatorsk and Sloviansk, where we found heavily fortified cities protected by well-armed troops, endless bunkers, concrete blocks, and anti-tank defenses ringing the outskirts.
Satellite photos appear to show a Russian ship believed to be carrying stolen Ukrainian grain docked in Syria. Mixed results in yesterday's primaries for candidates endorsed by former President Trump. CBS's Linda Kenyon has the details.
Let me introduce the next governor of the state of Nebraska, Jim Pillen.
Jim Pillen came out on top in Nebraska's gubernatorial primary. He defeated the Trump-endorsed candidate Charles Herbster. In West Virginia, GOP Representative Alex Mooney says it's no secret why he won.
I also want to thank President Donald Trump.
Mooney defeated fellow GOP incumbent David McKinley in a redrawn congressional district.
A storm system off the East Coast is taking its toll. Video captures one of two empty homes along North Carolina's Outer Banks being swallowed up by the sea. Jenny Kuntz lives nearby.
It's just a really overwhelming and dramatic situation, but it does come with living here on the sandbar.
Storms have brought breaking waves 15 feet high. One industry that's profiting from inflation? Casinos. The American Gaming Association says commercial casinos recorded their best month ever in March, winning $5.3 billion from gamblers. This is CBS News.
There's always something new under the sun. CBS Mornings, weekdays on CBS.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
A no-hitter in the big leagues.
It was a night to remember for Los Angeles Angels rookie left-hander Reed Detmers.
Ground ball. Velasquez throws across.
A no-hitter on Bally Sports, the first one by an individual pitcher this season in a 12-0 Angels win over Tampa Bay. Last month, the Mets no-hit the Phillies and used 5 pitchers to do it. Detmers is 22 years old. That was just his 11th big league start. Steve Kathan, CBS News.
A basketball Hall of Famer is gone.
Gerard goes in the hole, and here it goes. 18 for the big guy. 18.
The NBA says Bob Lanier, star center for the Pistons and the Bucks in the 1970s, has died after a short illness. It's not specified. Lanier was 73. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
Attention River Region. Don't wait on one of those internet companies to hopefully call you back. You'll be disappointed even if they do. Just Blinds and Travel is here to make sure your home has the look and feel of the best American-made window treatments, including motorization and smart home options. Your guests will love them as much as you do. For over 35 years, Just Blinds has been the trusted local source for quality, beauty, and customer satisfaction, serving Lake Martin, Auburn, and the River Region.
Ron's Roofing knows that when a storm damages your roof, it's hard to know what to do next. Easy. Rely on the most trusted and recognized roofing name, Ron's Roofing. They'll help protect you from the next storm. Ron's Roofing understands that your roof is your home's first line of defense. That's why they to ensure that your home is protected from any unexpected storms. A job won't get the Ron's Roofing name on it unless it's done right. Visit ronsroofing.com or call 215-0070. Susan, I'm sorry I'm late. Traffic was terrible.
It sure is. But on top of that, gas prices have been skyrocketing. I can't believe how expensive gas has gotten recently.
Prices at the pump are up, but I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
And does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the free Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FREE for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's promo code FREE. You can cash out anytime right to your bank account, to PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FREE for a $5 bonus on your first tank. That's code FREE for a $5 bonus.
You already know Katie Britt's a woke DC lobbyist who cheered when Doug Jones beat Roy Moore. Britt's an establishment swamp creature who will fold rather than stand up to Joe Biden. And as bad as Britt is, there's an even worse choice, Mike Durant. Durant plays a tough guy on TV, but it's all an act. That Patriot PAC with non-stop Durant ads is funded by left-wing woke liberals involved with the traitorous anti-Trump Lincoln Project, and they expect return on investment. Durant's no conservative. Durant's a rhino Trojan horse, a fake, a phony, and a fraud. The conservative choice? Clearly, Mo Brooks. Mo's not woke. Mo's smart, tough, and edgy. The brash Dixie fighter needed to shut down Joe Biden. It's time Alabama sends a message, and that message is Mo Brooks.
Mo Brooks.
Fact for this ad and is responsible for its contents. Not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. ccpac.us.
Hey, I'm Jake from Long Island, and my portfolio performance honestly just wasn't cutting it. I was looking for something more. So I researched alternative investments like crypto and NFTs, but they didn't make sense to me. Then I read about Masterworks and Forbes. I did my research and invested over $55,000 with them. I know it was the smart thing to do. I tell all my family and friends about Masterworks, and now I'm telling you.
Before deciding to invest, carefully review the important disclosures at masterworks.io/disclaimer.
Is your child getting the personalized attention they need to excel in math? Mathnasium has a solution for students of all skill levels. We assess each child's strengths and weaknesses, creating a customized learning plan. The Mathnasium method gives them the critical thinking skills they need to thrive, with the option to attend face-to-face online sessions or come to one of our 1,000 neighborhood learning centers. Mathnasium. We're changing lives through math. Learn more at mathnasium.com.
It's a fact. Guys hate going to the doctor. But when it comes to erectile dysfunction and low testosterone issues, men from all over Montgomery have been thrilled seeing Dr. Alderson and the providers at Montgomery Men's Health. Men all the way up to 95 years old have jump-started their sex drive and energy levels. Lots of men suffer with ED for years, but now they're able to enjoy sex again. Tom from Montgomery said, Montgomery Men's Health has changed my life. I have been able to be intimate with my wife for the first time in 5 years. She thought this problem was because of her, but the pills never worked for me. I had given up until I went to the clinic and realized there were more options for erectile dysfunction. Now I'm happy and my wife is happy. A visit for only $99, and that includes all testing, including PSA and testosterone test. Give the guys at the clinic a call at 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
It's Dan Bongino every weekday from 2 till 5 p.m. right here on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay. We are back. Good morning, everybody. You know, I forgot the mayor was coming. I put it in my calendar. I don't know why I kind of forgot it. Okay. Anyway, like the caller had said, I spent about an hour yesterday at one of our boards, our airport board, just seeing how things work and stuff like that. And it was an interesting time. Let me go to the phone and see who's here right quick. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
morning. You've got time for one last call. And it was good old Thomas, whatever his name is.
Well,
How many? 15 minutes?
well, sometimes you can't get it out in 2 minutes, you know.
You just such a fraud. You had it set up on the call. It was a waste of 15 minutes. Nobody knows what he was talking about other than trying to impress you.
Now, maybe.
You know, you make the mayor happy. He's for that. But why lie?
Well, lie about what?
You made up the call was already set from yesterday.
It wasn't set.
You only had just a little time left for one last call.
That's right.
15 minutes. And you don't interrupt one time.
Well, I don't really interrupt the mayor much either.
You're a fraud, man. You're a fraud. You had to call plans.
Well, listen, a man convinced against his will is of the same opinion still. Okay. Okay. Well, then, okay, I'm a fraud. I'm good. Anything else you want? Okay, guess not. Good morning. Who's this?
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning.
Hey, I tried to get in, but you're so popular, and Mayor is top of the border, so it's hard to get in. But anyway, I had a couple of questions. One, I found out the other day that the number one cause of death in this country is not cancer, not heart disease, not medical malpractice, not death by law enforcement, but the feds put out misinformation. They said that's the leading cause of death now in this country. Did you hear that?
Misinformation?
Misinformation.
That must be from the Biden DOJ.
Well, they were talking about it, and I stopped and I said, my gosh, our mayor's got to get on top of this.
Yeah.
I mean, he needs to divert some of that money from the Office of Violence Intervention over to misinformation. Because if it's the leading cause of death, of course, the former president, Obama said that it's dangerous. Now they're saying it's the number one cause of death in this country. So I think if you have a conversation with the mayor, you need to get on top of it.
Yeah. Gotta get put that. I guess that would come under the umbrella of the Office of OVP. You know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Hey, you brought up an interesting topic yesterday about them allowing people to come downtown and purchase the right to earn a living by
Entertaining.
performing.
Yes.
Right. Okay. So you're gonna get your group together.
Oh, yeah.
And you're gonna go down there.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Do you have to have the $25 for the year for each person in the group?
That's an interesting. I would imagine if you're part of that group, I would think not. But now if you go off on your own, then you might need to, you become famous downtown. You may need to get your own license. You know what I'm saying? But I'll check on that. Because
He said he didn't want the men and women in blue enforcing the panhandling thing, the homeless thing. So who's going to enforce this if you don't have the $25 price? So if I come on down there with my harmonica,
yeah,
and I start tooting away on Jeremiah was a bull.
Yeah. That's an interesting question. I couldn't think of all the questions I had, but I'll find out. If it's $25, or maybe one of the city councilmen listen, they can tell us. If you got a group and there's 10 of y'all, do we got to pay $25 a piece, or will $25 for the group work out, since we are a group?
And if I have my sign that says I'm working for a tattoo for my wife,
yeah,
do I have to pay $25, or am I considered a panhandler?
Well,
Still playing my harmonica.
Well, you can be a mime. You can be a mime, and mimes could, you could be a mime that performs like a panhandler. See, that's interesting.
You have gotten so famous.
Yeah.
You need a handle on the streets of Montgomery so
Yeah.
people recognize you.
Yeah.
There was a famous artist in Montgomery years ago. His name was Mose T.
I know him. Yeah. I know him. Mhm.
Everybody knew him. So your handle could be Low T.
Yeah, I'm Low T, the Demo T. Anyway, Okay, then let me see now. Good morning. Who's this?
I'm glad I wasn't your first caller. I'm glad I wasn't your.
Now don't blow this because I was gonna let you talk. Okay. Okay. So you just called just to tell me to have a good day. All right then. It's always good to have a good day though. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
Hey Kevin, you know what? This must be your day.
What's that?
You got Mr. Ed calling in wishing you would have a great day.
Yeah.
And I can't believe that I'm calling in to defend you. That brother that called in, our good white brother.
Yeah, good white brother.
Talking
Yeah.
about you a fraud.
Yes.
He ain't qualified to call you no fraud. You are who you are.
Exactly.
Him to call in like he's some authority.
Yeah. Like he know all the frauds in the world.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm calling in to defend you.
Yeah.
Thank you for having the mayor on also.
Yeah. No problem. All right, appreciate it. 860-1440 is the number here. I had a lot of things written out. Let's see. I was doing some exhaustive research last night, but here's my problem with the board, not with the board, but with the airport. The airport evidently is self-funding. Now, it's my understanding they don't really get money from the city. But what we get to do as a city, I guess, or the county, is put members on the board for the airport authority. Now, here's my problem. And I understand when a new boss comes in, just like a new company commander comes in, a new first sergeant comes in, a new CEO comes in, they want to put their stamp on the organization to make it theirs. I don't really have a problem with that, but you know, and I'm calling on the director out there. You got a guy that's been working for 19 years at the airport as a police guy. Okay, doing a great job evidently, because you don't stay someplace for 19 years and not do a good job. But his mother is sick, his daughter is sick. So since he's been on for 19 years on the third shift or whatever shift he's on, he's got the job, to help take care of his mom and people like that. And listen, and to change this guy's job because you wanna make sure that you got a set on you. I guess the guy's name is Chief out there, Jenkins, whoever he is. I think that's really crappy. Really, really, really crappy. And I don't know the brother. But I know one thing, humanity, if I'm taking care of my mom, so they put the guy in a position out there to either quit his job or take the other job and not be able to take care of his family, of his mother. And I don't know how many of you got that sick parent. My mother died when I was 30 years old. I was in Honolulu. I didn't participate in that process. But I'm pretty sure had I known about it, I would have participated in it. And because that's your mom, you only get one. No matter what your relationship is, you get one mother. That's it. And I'm just thinking, and he has a daughter that has lupus. So shame on this guy who's trying to force him to quit his job because he's just trying to take care of his family. That's crappy. That's crappy. I can't handle that. I'm glad I don't work for that son of a gun. I'm glad I don't work for him because we would have some conversation. Of course, he got a gun, so conversation wouldn't be lasting too long. But I looked at him really tough. Yeah. But anyway, that's just one of those things, I guess. When you work. But the thing about it, you go through the city of Montgomery to get a job, and once you get the job, the city of Montgomery has nothing to do with you. That just doesn't make sense to me. So I go to you to get the job. You screen me, you send me on to the job, but when the job screws me over, I can't come back to the same people that. So I think the lawyers of the city need to look at that. I think they do. That's something about that just don't smell right to me. Okay. 860-14 was the number here. Want to give us a call? Love to talk to you. What's on your mind? Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Good morning, Donald.
Donald's not here.
Well, good. I guess I thought I could settle something with the Magna Carta.
Hmm.
You shouldn't need a job making $200,000
Okay.
Well, you didn't admit to having $3 million and a job that makes $200,000 a year?
No, I did not. But that's okay. You know, listen, if you want to go with that.
You don't make $200,000 a year?
No, never have. Wish I had. I wouldn't be sitting here right now.
And you don't have $3 million?
50-50. What's on your mind?
Magna Carta?
Okay, well, we ain't on the Magna Carta. That's history way back. In the 1600s, I think that's when it was.
Yeah, that white boy come on, he didn't know about it.
Okay.
The Magna Carta, according to Ralph Ellison, was designed to protect loyalty and the wealthy.
Okay.
And Abraham Lincoln came on board, and those conservative parties protect the wealthy.
Okay.
Me and not thee.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Well, for most of us, if
conservatism is bad news.
Okay. Well, everybody's got their opinion. Okay, nothing wrong with opinions. Everybody got one. Kind of like other things everybody got. Anyway, we'll be back right after this with some more interesting things, of course. Right after this.
Circle K, there's an accident there. 600 block of Heatherton Drive, and the disabled vehicle blocking traffic. Perry Hill.
I don't know, and I don't know. I don't know.
Good credit, slow credit, doesn't matter. Call the 18 at MCS in Wetumpka for a cash out refinance or an equity loan. MCS 567-9000. NMLS 232-876. Buckle up, it's the law. For Montgomery Skywatch Traffic, this is Major Delay.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing with all the brands and options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery at Chico's Auto Pros for your tire needs.
The truth and nothing but. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The Federal Reserve is now warning that the transitory, we were told, Biden inflation crisis is now posing a serious threat to the entire United States economic system. Let me read to you from the Wall Street Journal. Elevated, persistent inflation coupled with a sharp rise in interest rates are among the greatest near-term risks to the U.S. economic system. A combination of higher inflation, rising interest rates could weaken the balance sheets of households and businesses, leading to an increase in delinquencies, bankruptcies, other forms of financial distress. Households could be affected by job losses. By the way, all of this is absolutely happening, and it's going to get worse. Here's my prediction.
Keeping you on the straight path. Later today, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
You know, every 3 seconds there is a new victim of identity theft. Now, these criminals could be spending your money, applying for loans in your name, or even selling your personal information on the dark web. Unfortunately,
how did I miss that?
Credit may not be enough, but protecting your identity is very simple with LifeLock. They are the leader in identity theft protection. On LifeLock.com, they monitor threats to your identity. They will issue you an alert anytime your information might be detected. And if you're a victim of identity theft, you'll get a dedicated restoration specialist in the U.S. that will work to fix it for you. No one company can prevent all identity theft or monitor every transaction of every business, but LifeLock by Norton, it's simple and easy to help protect you. Call 1-800-LifeLock or just go to LifeLock.com. Use the promo code Hannity, and you'll save up to 25% off. That's 1-800-LifeLock, LifeLock.com. That's 25% off with the promo code Hannity.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And now you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/trial. That's ZipRecruiter.com/trial. ZipRecruiter.com/trial.
Are you a patient who has been diagnosed with sleep apnea and are being treated with a Philips CPAP machine? There's another successful way to treat this problem, and that is with the oral sleep appliance. It is recommended by the American Academy of Sleep Medicine for anyone who cannot tolerate or use CPAP. It is covered by most medical insurances and is offered by Dr. Michael Irwin, a Montgomery orthodontist who has been successfully treating sleep apnea patients for the last 30 years. Left untreated, the serious medical associations of high blood pressure, heart attack, strokes, and cardiovascular disease will remain and will only result in a decrease of your quality of life and significant medical expense. Oral sleep appliances have been used successfully to treat thousands of patients across the United States. A short no-cost evaluation with Dr. Michael Irwin will help to enlighten you about the possibility of alternative treatment. Call his office today at 279-6910. That's 334-279-6910.
That person with the card book says, are you looking to sell your
Why don't you sail away?
buying cars on the spot with no trade-in required? Cars, trucks, vans, SUVs.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Online can be a hassle. Fielding phone calls from potential buyers, some serious, most not. Plus a handful of swindlers and a whole lot of online broken promises. We'll make the experience simple, safe, and easy. Just stop by one of our 2 locations, relax, and one of our acquisition specialists will inspect the car and provide you with a free Carfax report, a $39.95 value. You'll get our budget Best Buy offer to compare. Budget car and truck sales, 2 locations. 61 Midvale Parkway, Montgomery, next to Fraser Church, 244-9777, or in Prattville, 508 McQueen Smith Road, across from Walmart, 358-0444, and we'll come to you there. Check us out online at buybudgetonline.com.
Alabama's
Washington wants to control everything. That isn't happening here in Alabama. We do not teach hate to our kids. We do not pay people to quit work. And we do not use tax dollars to kill our babies.
Kay Ivey. Her Alabama common sense drives Washington liberals nuts.
I signed the strongest pro-life law in America. I stood with Trump to ensure no election here can ever be stolen.
But that's not all. Kay Ivey through
I ain't problem with that.
our schools, banned transgender youth sports, and passed constitutional carry to protect our Second Amendment rights. Kay Ivey, the conservative governor the woke left loves to hate.
America's the greatest country in the world. Joe Biden may not get there, but here in Alabama, we always will.
Kay Ivey for Alabama. Paid for by Kay Ivey for Governor Inc. P.O. Box 966, Montgomery, Alabama 36101.
When it's time to get a new vehicle, Larry Puckett Chevrolet is the best place to find your new Chevy or a great used car. New cars, SUVs, and trucks are being delivered daily, and Larry Puckett has their largest selection of pre-owned vehicles in over a year. Check them out online at LarryPuckett.com or visit them on Cobbs Ford Road in Prattville. And if you have an extra vehicle, bring it in for an instant cash offer. Whether you're selling or trading, your vehicle will never be worth more. Larry Puckett Chevrolet, where the customers do the talking.
Retired Colonel James Henderson, ordained minister.
Kay Ivey shut the churches down, but kept the abortion clinics open. Kay Ivey is aiding and abetting murder when she allowed the abortion mills to stay open. Lindy Blanchard is a defender of life. She adopts children. She stands for life. She's the most pro-life candidate for governor I've ever known. That's why I'm supporting Lindy Blanchard, the governor we need.
Paid by Blanchard for Governor, Box 241331, Montgomery, Alabama.
He's the voice of the conservative millennial.
Alrighty then.
Show tonight at 8 p.m. on News Radio 1440. Depend on it.
Okay, I just got my ticket for the Top Gun preview before anybody else in town gets to see it. Only me and a select few will be able to see this movie first. Okay, I just want to let y'all know that's what when you got the mojo, you know, when you're the most influential talk show host in town, people invite you to parties. Okay, I'm just saying. 860-1440 is the number here. You want to give us a call? I just can't wait for Top Gun, man. I was gonna go. I don't care if everybody had COVID. We're just gonna sit out there and catch it together. I was gonna see this movie. Anyway, good morning to you. Let's 860-1440 is the number here. Good morning. Who's this? Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Did you get the message
What message?
on your Facebook page?
Oh no,
Anyway,
no.
yeah, I sent you something.
No.
There's that word simplify.
Right.
And fidelity, infidelity, infidel. I wonder if those words are connected anyway. But the reason I called, I was watching PBS last night, and they had this guy who was the last Secretary of Defense in the Trump administration. They stayed there for 18 months. And Jane Woodall, I think that's her name, she kept asking. He's written a book. He's a West Point grad. And why did you stay? He says, I stayed because the people at the Pentagon and a lot of people that have been around Washington that want to defend the Constitution basically wanted him to stay because they didn't know what he was going to replace him with. You can start with Jeff Sessions. If you did not do exactly what he wanted you to do, he got rid of you. Well, he had instructed this man to use the army and the military against demonstrators.
That's not the first time that happened.
I don't know.
General MacArthur did it.
It might not be, but this is the first time that they're about ready to put it on him that he encouraged that violence. You know, I know some people that are NSA retired, IRS retired, CIA, and you know they said a long time ago that they knew about Trump, but you know they did not want to end up like this is. This guy's written a book. I think I'm number 5 or 7. So like I need it, right? I don't really read it. You know, I've seen this, and I'm capable of critical thought. But you still have people that want to ride his coattails because he brought something out in America that was needed. You know, and that's he ignited what was left of our private sector. But it has been overrun by the infidels, the people that practice infidelity, which to me is cheating on your significant other, your spouse, or whatever, and lying. And the whole problem, like you were asking after the mayor left, and you know, how can all this happen? It's the spoil system. Can you imagine all the favors that are going to have to be paid for by these politicians and the money they're spending on the Senate and gubernatorial races here in Alabama? Somebody is going to want something in return for that. And the people that we are electing to office, they don't have souls. They're going to make it happen. And nothing will ever change, like you were saying this morning. And that's the problem. Now, we can change this. And in that message I sent you, that's the prototype of it. We need an open primary, one ballot, and you get on there. Get rid of us paying all this money for these primaries, for these groups, gangs, or whatever you want to call them, the Democrats and Republicans. Because in 2003, they got rid of everybody else. Remember, I made a movie about that. I've been trying to get you to promote it on your show. It's on YouTube. I went up to the State House on February 3rd, 2003, the day of the opening of the legislature, and I asked as many of them as I could before they finally threw me out and took my press pass. Have you read this bill? None of them. And they voted to make Alabama's ballot one of the most restrictive ballots in the country for you to access and get on to challenge any of these sitting politicians. And we've been living like that for 20 years.
All righty.
Nobody seems to understand what's wrong here. Have a great day.
Okay, appreciate it. Okay, good. Something else is going on in the nation right now that we don't really pay a whole bunch of attention to, but Bitcoin, Bitcoin, which was the heir apparent to the dollar, evidently is losing some status right now. Of course, I only got $50 in it, so you know. So, but when it first came out, now I made a bundle. I didn't make a bundle. I made $300, you know, a couple years ago, but you know, that's it. But I only put $50 in it, so I made $300 something. So that was really good. But that's going down. Now you don't hear much about Bitcoin anymore. So I wouldn't, you know, always put your stuff in a don't just put everything in one market. Okay, I'm not a financial advisor. I let the other guys in town do that. But I'm just a guy that, because the headline reads Bitcoin bloodbath. So you know, Coinbase, which is one of the people who keeps up with it, they about to go bankrupt. So you know, I don't know. I don't know. I can't deal with it. Bitcoin. It was a good thing while it lasts. It was a good thing while it lasts. And you know, China seems to be ready to invade, do what Russia did. They seem be bent on taking back Taiwan. Now, here's the question we have to ask ourselves. If the Chinese decide that they're gonna go take back Taiwan or whatever, move in on Taiwan, like the Russians decided to do Ukraine, does America, you know, isn't this almost like the beginning of World War II? You know, we send, and we can't fight. Now, used to be America could fight 2 wars at one time. Unfortunately, we can't do that because nobody qualifies for the military hardly much anymore. And if they do go in as John, they don't want to come out as Joan, or they go in as Joan and they want to be turned into a John. I don't know what that's all about when the whole job of the military is to protect this nation. But does anybody believe that we can actually fight 2 wars at one time like we did in World War II? No, I don't believe that. And you know, contrary to popular belief, I don't believe we can do it all with drones. I don't believe we can fight a war, win wars with a drone. Okay, I just don't think it. I mean, there are tools in the toolbox like everything is, but if you believe that we can win a war by a drone, we're in South Carolina or Utah, and the war is in China. If you think we can win a war that way, my friend, you are sadly mistaken. But let's see what China's going to do. I'm looking at a couple of pictures here now where they are surrounded. They're practicing invading Taiwan. I don't think we want to get involved in that, and I don't think we want to get involved in Ukraine either. But at some point, we're gonna have to decide which side we want to play on. You know, and the dollar going down. You know, every time the dollar goes down, people figure out how to make money, and normally they make money with wars. So, okay then. All right, let's see how this all works out for us. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
You can fight more than one war at one time. You like to get in Japan, just drop a bomb and just settle your problem. Just don't be going around going through so ass and just get it over with.
Well, that's all right unless it drops on you. Yeah.
That's it. Well, that's the option you have to take.
Yeah.
You keep letting people push. You got to stop it somewhere.
Well, I mean, I understand what you're saying. You know, I still didn't agree with us, and nobody asked me, but I didn't agree with us dropping that atomic bomb on Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
I didn't agree
But
with Japan,
Pearl Harbor, yeah, I didn't either. But
it's for tax.
yeah.
And you just have to weigh the option. That's all.
Mm.
You have to weigh the option. If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. You just have to make peace with God. And some of us have done that. Okay, another thing.
Yeah.
Are we talking about this general election, about these two groups they call the Democrats and the Republicans, and you leave out the independents? Well, they had in 2018 they had on the general ballot where you can write in a candidate.
You can still write.
The Democrat and the Republican. Why don't you go the third route? Why the candidate lose?
Well, that's true. You can always write that.
All your problems. They'll let both of them know you tired of them. Because we are tired of them lying.
Yeah. Yeah.
Write in your candidate. Don't try to pick the Republicans because they ain't doing nothing. Don't try to pick the Democrats.
And all they do for their party. They do for their party and not right. And you know.
And the poor people in poor. And we pay no tax. We all just start lying to ourselves.
Yeah.
Worry about the taxpayer.
Never has been. Yeah, never has been. That's why the redistricting lines and all that stuff, that's got nothing to do with the taxpayer. Nothing. Yeah. So I can convince the idiots that I should be voted for again.
When you drive off the lot and it depreciates $2,000 or $3,000. That tag that went up. How can this tag go up?
What? Yeah, exactly. Wait a minute. Now the old cars are appreciating, and the new cars are depreciating. You know what? I might. Okay, I appreciate. Listen, I might have me and Jelly Bean might need to go to a car lot since we got that good gas consumption. I may be able to work out me a Cadillac today or something. You know? I don't know. I've always wanted I want a Tahoe, but I can put Jelly Bean in a Tahoe. So I don't know how much money they're gonna give me for that. I don't. They may let me have it as a down payment. I'll have to see. Good morning.
Hey Kevin. Good morning. How you doing?
Fine.
Yeah. Hey, look, we can fight a three-front war and still be successful. We did in Iraq, Afghanistan. At the same time, as well as station our soldiers around the European.
Here's the question: did we win anything in Afghanistan?
Kevin, I think we accomplished our mission overall, and that was pretty much to make them impotent to keep the threat of what happened in 9/11.
And we left them. And we left them $80 billion worth of weapons.
Kevin, we did the same thing in Vietnam.
Yeah. So.
To keep that from being a safe haven, the way it was now. But remember, Kevin, I told you we're not an island to ourselves. So that's where NATO comes in. When they put NATO together, trust me, they entertained that question almost 80 years ago. And that's why it's important to keep our European allies tight and NATO tight. Now, if Trump would have won the election and you was to ask me that question, I would say I don't know, and that may not be a way. But with NATO and European allies,
well, if you take but if you take the United States out of NATO don't exist.
And if you take NATO from the United States is in trouble with Cuba, other South American countries that don't too much like it. China can go in, monopolize certain parts of South and Central America, and now our borders are at risk.
Well, our borders are already at risk. And the Chinese are running Jamaica. They are running Hawaii. I mean, yeah.
So the thing is, you learn to appreciate that your border's not always safe without the allies.
Well, that's true.
The country can be arrogant and think that we're an island to ourselves, that without us you can't do it, and we can do it without you. And that's not true, Kevin. That's not true at all. So we got to wake up and understand that. So the answer to your question, with our allies remaining tight, and NATO being the way that it is, and NATO is showing you what they can do, we can do it, Dan.
Listen, I'll tell you, with Maverick in an F-22 or whatever the hell that plane is, we can beat anybody. Okay?
We're the most powerful country in the world, and I don't say it just because it's something to say, but we are. But just like Rome, we can destroy ourselves from within, so we have to pull it together.
Well, we're working on that one now. Okay, because yeah.
But when you have leaders that are compromising democracy and trying to.
And the only one compromising democracy right now is the guy in the White House now. No. Wait a minute. When you tell me, hold on a minute. When you tell me that we can't, even though we have the capacity to be energy independent of any country in the world, and we turn around and shut down things that make us independent and beg OPEC and beg everybody else for some gas. Come on, man. No, I was 18 then. No, I was 18 then. I didn't know what the hell was going on. Okay. All right. What did let me add something. What did Thomas Jefferson say? Thomas Jefferson said that from time to time, you have to do things like that to prune the tree of freedom. That's what he said. And he was a founding father. He was a founding father of this country. So just because you get in office don't mean you're absolutely right about everything you do. I'm telling you, listen, I'm telling you what Thomas Jefferson said. Thomas Jefferson said it. Okay. And you know what? They said the same thing about Ronald Reagan. They said the same thing about anybody that was halfway conservative. They swore him down he was going to ride a bomb and bomb the whole wide world. Right. I hear him. There was no insurrection. There was no insurrection. Nobody went to Washington, D.C. to overthrow the government. Well, have them wusses, wait a minute, them wusses up there are scared of their own shadow. That don't bother me. But nobody, they were pissed off people who wanted the government, that government that they pay for, to listen to them. I don't have it wasn't no insurrection. I won't ever buy that. Yeah. Hey, listen, I gotta run. I'll never buy that. Did they do some things that were inappropriate? I agree. Break down doors but funny thing about it, the one woman who got killed in Washington, D.C. by Secret Service, and now he's making a book circuit, didn't really do anything. But she ended up dead. She didn't have any weapons. I understood what happened. I guess you could say I was scared, but no. They killed that woman, who was a veteran who participated in protecting our country. But she did put herself in a precarious position, but she didn't have any weapons on her or anything. But anyway, we'll be back. Now, I'll never go, the word insurrection would never come out of my mouth. Okay, upsetness, yeah, those folks were upset. We'll be back.
By Blindster. New blinds or shades? Blindster.com offers custom-made blinds and shades and shutters shipped directly to you at prices less than big box retailers. Blindster blinds are easy to install and guaranteed to fit. And right now, save 45% off any order. Just use code radio at checkout. Blindster.com.
A little bit warmer today. Temperatures in the upper 80s, but the humidity continues to stay low. It will feel good for being in the upper 80s. Mainly sunny skies. The wind will be light. For tonight, we'll have a few more clouds around. That keeps temperatures up tonight. It won't be as cool or as refreshing. We'll stay in the 60s tonight with partly cloudy skies. We'll have a few clouds around Thursday, but still a good deal of sun. Upper 80s, mid 80s Friday with sun and clouds. That's your first alert forecast. I'm meteorologist Tyler Seabury for News Radio 1440.
Montgomery Skywatch traffic brought to you by Brubaker Motors. It's better at Brubaker on News Radio 1440.
Good morning, Montgomery. Look for an accident on Cary Hill Road westbound at 85. Please use caution there. Cary Hill Road at 85. Also, Summer Highway at 65 northbound. There's a large block in the roadway. And look for an accident lower Wetumpka Road in front of the Circle K. Turnham State Community College is offering continuing education classes in pharmacy technician and medical billing and coding. Classes start June 6th. Call 420-4240. That's Trinum State. It's the law for Montgomery Skywatch traffic. This is major delay.
Selecting the best choice for tires can be confusing with all the brands and options available. Trust the #1 rated tire pros in Montgomery at Chico's Auto Pros for your tire needs.
From my cold, dead hands.
For Mo Brooks.
It's personal. When a crazed Bernie Bros socialist attempted to shoot down Mo Brooks, Brooks didn't waver when the fake news media pressured him to fold. Instead, Brooks doubled down and said he'll fight the gun-grabbing left even harder. That's why the NRA and every other major pro-gun group in America endorse Mo Brooks. Because Brooks is tough, unyielding, and Mo Brooks has guts. What about the others? Mike Durant called for government-enforced gun confiscation. And Katie Britt, a rhino moderate who cheered when anti-gun Democrat Doug Jones beat Roy Moore. Not Mo Brooks. Mo Brooks, the Dixie fighter for U.S. Senate. Unapologetically Alabama.
Unapologetically
Mo Brooks is the
Alabama.
only conservative choice for U.S. Senate. Mo Brooks.
Stop lying. What am I lying about?
To go on offense. Rich conservative spectator for the Senate is responsible for its contents, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee. CCPAC.us.
Hey, I'm Jake from Long Island, and my portfolio performance honestly just wasn't cutting it. I was looking for something more. So I researched alternative investments like crypto and NFTs, but they didn't make sense to me. Then I read about Masterworks and Forbes. I did my research and invested over $55,000 with them. I know it was the smart thing to do. I tell all my family and friends about Masterworks, and now I'm telling you.
Before deciding to invest, carefully review the important disclosures at masterworks.io/disclaimer.
Is your child getting the personalized attention they need to excel in math? Mathnasium has a solution for students of all skill levels. We assess each child's strengths and weaknesses, creating a customized learning plan. The Mathnasium method gives them the
I'm going to buy my own
skills
chair.
they need to thrive.
That's what I got to
With
do.
the option to attend
Buy my own
face-to-face
chair.
online sessions or come to one of our 1,000 neighborhood learning centers. Mathnasium. We're changing lives through math. Learn more at mathnasium.com. Tim James.
Has Kay Ivey failed us? When governors like Ron DeSantis stood up for their states, Kay Ivey caved in. She ordered COVID mandates, just like vouchers, closed our churches, raised our gas taxes. Ivey funded a transgender school where the rainbow flag flies right next to our American flag. Do we want our little ones to pledge allegiance to that? Governor Kay Ivey gave $2 million of your tax dollars to this school. It's hard to believe. I'm Tim James, but this election is not about me or her. It's about Alabama standing up for what's right and turning our country around. I'll get schools back to reading, writing, and arithmetic and stop the woke brainwashing of our children. Every child is created in the image of God. Every child has value and worth. I'll protect them all. It's time to fight back.
Paid for by Tim James, Governor 2022.
Join Sean Hannity Sundays at 3 p.m. for the Encore Show
Chinese, the Russians don't fear Joe Biden.
on News Radio 1440.
Okay, I can live with this. There we go. There we go. I don't know how many times I got to say this, okay? What those people in January 6th did, at least in my estimation, you know, during the election, a lot of states changed rules that they were not to change, that they were not supposed to. They went against their own constitutions. Michigan was one of those states that sent out, against the law, sent out ballots, unsolicited ballots, to every household in Michigan. They weren't supposed to do that. That's against the law. Philadelphia did the same thing. About 4 or 5 states did. Listen, people, and they went to court, but every time they would try to get an injunction, those same people would say, turn them down, even though they were violating their own constitution. At least 4 states did that. Okay, so they could win. Okay, those people were ticked off in Washington, D.C. on January the 6th. They were just ticked off. Did they do everything right? No. Okay, but we've already seen that the court system was not going to help them. I have never seen in my life so many people against one guy, which was Trump. Trump brought out that on his own self, and that's for sure. But you know what? Where were I think back real quickly? Think back. Where were we 5 years ago, and where are we today? I think you can get my message. Good morning. Who's this? Yes.
I just kind of to your general point. I mean, it really boils down to this. That, Donald Trump is abrasive,
Yes.
egomaniac, and he isn't the guy that you want to be your next door neighbor. And you could say Joe Biden or Obama are nice guys, and that you want them to be your next door neighbor. But ultimately, Trump was good for America. Obama, Biden are bad for America. So even though we dislike Trump's personality, the guy was effective. And I'm thinking about that basketball player that's in Russia right now.
Right.
You don't think Donald Trump would have had her out of there by now?
I believe if we really thought that she didn't do anything wrong, I think he would have got her by now.
He just gets things done.
Yeah.
But that's why they have to attack him first. They have to attack him personally. So ultimately, Obama was a wonderful father and nice guy, but he was a terrible, terrible president by every metric. Families, economy, schools, everything. And Trump is a jerk. Guy that accomplishes the mission. So that's my point.
All right. Appreciate it. Listen, I'm not gonna say Obama was a total screw up. I mean, I if I would look at the top of my mind, I really can't think of anything except sending that billions of dollars of cash to wherever he sent it to. I really can't. I mean, I didn't like his politics, but the folks who liked his politics, I guess, thought he was doing all right. I didn't like the fact that everything was about gayism and gay this and gay that. But other than that, he didn't. I mean, he didn't do an awful job. Hey, come on, who's this?
Yes, sir.
Quickly, I got about a minute.
Trump was not no great president.
Okay.
He divided the country worse than it ever been.
Okay, and that's your opinion. Good morning. You got 10 seconds.
Hey.
All right, good. You got 10 seconds.
A violent uprising against the government is an insurrection.
Only if you have the intentions on all. No.
Against a government is an insurrection. It was violent.
Then if that's the case, wait a minute. So, okay, so the. Wait a minute. I gotta go back. I got it. We'll be back.
On News Radio 1440.
Good morning. I'm Jasmine Williams at WSFA 12 News. Here's what's happening this Wednesday. Early discussions are happening now about the possible closure of 2 schools in Montgomery for the 2023-2024 school year. Montgomery public school leaders say it's costing the